much like movement with their like BC level stars. You can't even find them anymore.
Well, and I'd even
so
say it's with the stars too. I mean, look at the players. Like, who is still with their original team?
But
Maybe
you're
Steph
always
Curry.
going to follow them, though. Like you always know where those guys are. You'll know where Harden
Draymond
is.
Green, too.
You'll know where Westbrook
Giannis.
is.
Yeah.
You're going to know where those guys are.
Yeah.
But the other guys that are kind of the C-level stars and B-level stars, which there's a lot of those in the NBA, a lot of talent, a lot of good names that people know, but you have no idea where they exist anymore. Most of the time. And I think it's almost confusing at the deadline more than anything else. All right, I was kidding. We're not talking 2.5 hours of the NBA today.
Sorry, Coos.
I promise you that. We thought of something yesterday, leaving the show, because we were talking about Travis Kelce, and Kelce's like the human soundbite.
By the way,
right now.
I've watched his speech about 25 times now.
Yeah,
I mean,
you love it.
Oh, it's hilarious, man. It's absolutely everything that he personifies. And listen, I understand. Some people might say, especially non-Chiefs fans, are going to say he comes across as cocky, but dude, obviously,
of course he comes across as cocky.
Okay,
he's a cocky player. He's an arrogant
the dude
player.
Had a couple basic beverages, number one, and number two, you just won the Super Bowl, man. Have fun. Like, do I need to remind you what his brother Jason Kelce said back in 2017? Because it was kind of along those same lines. Remember, Jason Kelce comes out wearing that crazy outfit, like the Mardi Gras outfit. So
and he's kind of quiet offensive lineman guy, so it surprised everybody.
Well, he's a center for sure. Yeah. Very unassuming.
But here's the deal, though, with Kelce, which is interesting. What we were thinking of yesterday when we're hearing all this stuff. And we said this last week during Super Bowl week. George Kittle and Travis Kelce were like the identities and personalities of their respective teams. I mean, Mahomes is the identity. Mahomes is the face of Kansas City. But the personality of Kansas City is Travis Kelce.
Correct.
Like Andy Reid has no personality other than saying he likes cheeseburgers.
Yeah.
And spent time with his trophy wife instead of his trophy after winning the Super Bowl. But Kelce's kind of that personality. Well, Gronk was the personality in New England. And so it's fascinating to see not only is the tight end position, important these days, because you can go back to Zach Ertz, and I'm not talking personality-wise, but production-wise, and just how key those tight ends have been. But the Jags hadn't had any of that because of the lack of tight ends. But the personality of your team being the tight end is interesting, but it also spun off something else. It's like the new white position in sports.
Yeah.
Seriously.
And this was, you came up with this, and at first I was like, whoa, Brent, now let's pump your brakes a little bit. Let's not get
careful here.
Hey, 2020, you know what I'm saying? Let's not get called out here on Twitter. But then, like, doing some more research and just kind of talking to you about it, I'm like, it kind of does make a lot of sense.
It's interesting, right?
Yeah.
Because a lot of people would say the white position in football is quarterback.
Quarterback. Yeah.
Well, and it has been for a long time. And the conversation about the black quarterback has always been a conversation. Mm-hmm. Well, is it that way anymore when Patrick Mahomes is the face of the NFL? Russell Wilson has been for the last decade one of the faces of the NFL. The MVP is Lamar Jackson. I mean, is that really a conversation point? Well, and by the way, that's great. The black quarterback conversation can now kind of go in the rear view and look at the black quarterback now, and it doesn't have that stigma to it. And I don't say this in a condescending way or in a race-related way. It's just ironic that right now the tight end position is kind of the new white position.
It is.
There's okay black players at the tight end spot.
I mean,
and
you would name like Evan Ingram. When he's healthy, he's a pretty legit player. I would point to Darren Waller. I think it's probably the best one right now. And in my opinion, should have been comeback player of the year. I get giving it to Ryan Tannehill. I understand that, but dude, Darren Waller's story in Oakland, now Las Vegas, it was one for like a Disney movie. Like I wouldn't be surprised if Disney releases some kind of movie about that, because what that dude went through, going through rehab and everything, kind of just being on the bottom barrel and somehow just rising above, man, and being a Pro Bowler and being a legit tight end in the league, pretty impressive.
Yeah. People get antsy a little bit when we talk black and white positions. But it kind of, that's what got us thinking a little bit yesterday.
For sure.
But I want to talk about the tight end position a little bit more and just how, see, the Kelce stuff coming on with the parade and all that, it also speaks to something we've talked about a lot here on this show, and branding. He is so aware of the branding. This guy wants a career in WWE or AEW sometime down the road. Yep. He wants his second career to be as a performer of some kind, whether it's an entertainer in Hollywood, whether it's an entertainer in the wrestling scene, maybe it's an MMA career down the road. I don't know what it is.
It's simple. Where Gronk left off, Gronk passed down the torch, and Travis Kelce took it.
He took it.
Simple as that.
He did take it.
Yeah.
And by the way, George Kittle's way out west, and he's a character in his own right.
He's
not as
also
loud.
a big wrestling fan, by the way.
Yeah, he's not as loud and obnoxious at times, I think, so it could come across as Kelsey. See, and I think that's the other part. Kelsey now, Kelsey's, you're either all in or you're out on Kelsey. He's that personality, right? You either love the guy or you're like, God, he drives me nuts. You know, he's one of those guys that you want on your team, or you don't like him at all.
And listen, I mean, I've shared this story a couple times, and I shared it when I interviewed him. I mean, one of my first experiences with Travis Kelsey, we're going through training camp, and, you know, we're going 11 on 11 good or whatever, and he scores a touchdown and literally proceeds to punt the ball in the stands. And just like all of a sudden, everyone's just like, dude, what are you doing? And punted the ball, and like we had to stop practice. Andy Reid shoot him out, and I remember thinking like, there's no way this guy's going to last. Like, this guy just does not get it. Like, you can't score a touchdown during a scrimmage, punt the ball in the stands, and then just, like, expect nothing's going to happen to you, especially being a rookie.
Yeah.
But he obviously grew up a little bit.
He did grow up a little bit, I guess, and he's now, like, the star.
He's a team captain,
of
don't
the
forget,
NFL.
Brett,
Yeah,
too.
true.
So.
He's a star. But my point there is, do you kind of like, is he going to be the guy that you don't like the Chiefs because of? Because Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes are, like, easy to like. They have some bad, somewhat apples from the public perception. Tyreek Hill, Frank Clark, those guys are not like super citizens of, at least from their past and what they've made headlines for.
Yeah.
But this guy might be the guy, when you see him after a parade, you say, gosh, I hope they never win again. I don't want to see that ever again. And Gronk became that a little bit in New England, right? It wasn't Brady that became that. It was Gronk that became that.
Yeah.
And guys become that once because we want to be able to tear down that team that we think is going to be really good for a long time. It's cute one time. It's maybe even okay a second time. But if the Chiefs and Mahomes start winning, they will soon become the Patriots, Duke, the Yankees, all those other teams that we want to see just fail, and we can't wait to break them down.
I'm going to be honest, though. When it comes to Gronk, I think there's a difference between when he played in Travis Kelsey from their persona, because I feel like Gronk was so unaware, you know, like he was just being himself. And
that's probably
and then
true.
To be fair, like when it comes to spiking, I mean, did you watch him on New Year's, Brent? Okay, but like, listen, when
that
it comes
might
to
just be who Gronk is. Yes, that's true.
But like, I mean, obviously, if you're not a fan of the Patriots, you're probably going to dislike them a lot. But in my opinion, I think it was kind of hard to find reasons to dislike Gronk. Why? Because the guy spikes footballs in the end zone? Like, you can't hate on that, because every Pop Warner kid who scored a touchdown has done that before. And from the standpoint of, he was never really that cocky. You know, he was just a guy that kind of marched to the beat of his own drum a little bit and kind of gave these crazy sound bites every once in a while. So I think the difference between Gronk and Travis Kelsey is the standpoint. Travis Kelsey is aware, like he's self-aware. Like he knows exactly what he's doing, right? Like he had the belt on when he was giving his speech.
Yes,
like
he
knew exactly what he was doing. He was trying to channel his inner macho man a little bit, Randy Savage. So he was very self-aware. I feel like Gronk I don't want to say he fell into it by accident, but he just kind of fell into it by being himself and not really being aware of it.
I think that's a good point. I think there's an authenticity to Gronk that's just kind of who he is.
Yeah.
You know, whether he played football, didn't play football, whether he was a junior in high school, a sophomore in college, or a 10-year vet, he's just always been that guy. And you either like that or not, but you didn't like the Patriots.
Of course.
So you almost, that's a good call. I bet there are a lot of people that like Gronk even though they didn't want to admit it because he was a Patriot.
Sure.
Right?
Yeah, exactly.
So that's fair. That's a pretty good point. So we'll talk a little bit tight ends. It's been a position of need around here. It's been a position that's carried a lot of conversations when it comes to the Jags. But I think it's really a fascinating position right now in the NFL, and how important it has become to go deep into the postseason, to be the personality of your football team, to be the production of your football team. I think the Jags, we've said it ever since the season ended. Go sign every human being that has tight end next to his name as a description until it works.
Yeah.
It's much like a quarterback spot right now. It's been that absent here in the city of Jacksonville. And when we come back, we will kick off with, where is this London stuff at today? Day 3. Is the fan pushback working at all? Are there any regrets down there at Jags headquarters? What's the feeling in the city of Jacksonville with the London second home game happening in 2020? And even if it happens in 2020, could some of this blowback prevent maybe an extension where it could happen down the road? Because I've told you all week, I feel like it's headed toward an extension. I wonder if this gives the NFL the Jags and everybody downtown a little bit of pause about signing off on that extension because there's still time to rescue that. We'll have that. Your calls welcome, 904-362-9901. Got a couple concert giveaways today once again as well. Hang with us till 6 o'clock. Mom's hanging with us today on the show.
She's in the house.
That's
I like
right.
it.
Mom's in the house. Kids are coming up. It's going to be a family party here at the studios. Action Sports Jax on ESPN 690.
Action Sports Jax with Brent Martineau on ESPN 690 is brought to you by Best Bet Jacksonville and Orange Park.
Now, the first alert forecast on ESPN 690.
A tornado watch is in effect for Baker County, but the severe weather threat is area-wide, including Metro Jacksonville, for mainly later this evening and overnight when a band of potentially severe storms moves across the area. Much cooler tomorrow, partly to mostly sunny in the lower 60s, and mostly sunny Saturday with a high of 66. From the First Alert Weather Center, I'm Action News Jax Chief Meteorologist Mike Burrish.
The Weather Center is brought to you by Beard's Diamonds, where for a limited time,
0% financing store-wide.
find out more at beardsdiamonds.com.
Do what we do and chub it up at Mr. Chubby's Wings. Hey, everyone, this is Brent Martineau. They're my favorite wings in town. People love them at our ESPN 690 party to celebrate a year. You can just celebrate good wings, good food, and a fun atmosphere at Mr. Chubby's Wings. So many flavors to choose from. But you know what my favorite is, the Maple Cajun. Go give it a try. Drink specials, a full menu, and lots of TVs to watch any sport. Chub it up at Mr. Chubby's Wings, 2 locations on the west side and in Fleming Island.
Diamonds Direct makes it easy for you to go over the top this Valentine's with an expanded selection of the most romantic gifts, special in-store designer trunk shows, and 3 years zero-interest financing on any Valentine's purchase. Jewelry is the #1 gift for Valentine's, and Diamonds Direct is the #1 destination. Diamond stud earrings, diamond eternity bands, layered necklaces, bangles, colored gemstones, and of course the largest selection of diamonds and engagement rings in America. As part of our Valentine's celebration this Friday and Saturday, we're hosting an exclusive designer event featuring world-renowned designer Simon G. See an expanded selection of Simon G creations, including some new items never seen before. And no matter what you choose for the one you love, you're guaranteed the best price. Plus, you can spread your payments over 3 years with zero interest on approved credit. Check out our online gift guide and even shop online if you like. DiamondsDirect.com. Diamonds Direct. Your love, our passion.
Off Town Center Parkway.
Being a victim of medical malpractice can leave you feeling like you've lost control. I'm Eli Anajar from the law offices of Anajar & Levine. Medical mistakes happen more often than you think. Understanding your legal options following medical malpractice is important. If you think you've been the victim of medical malpractice, call the law offices of Anajar & Levine at 904-600-4000. That's 904-600-4000 for a free consultation. And take back control of your life.
Office in Jacksonville.
I'm Mark Kinder with Affordable Water. There's a process in water treatment called ion exchange. This process actually removes hardness using very little salt with our demand metered systems. Our dual media system softens and filters water for your home or business. Affordable Water has been educating and serving Jacksonville for 30 years. We're licensed locally as well as on the state and national level. Affordable Water, 262-0197. That's Affordable Water, 262-0197. License number W32.
AffordableWaterJax.com.
Hey, it's Mike Golick from Golick & Wingo. Thanks for making ESPN 690 the fastest growing sports station in Jacksonville. Clearly, it's because I'm on every morning from 6 till 10 a.m. But this isn't about me. It's about your business. Get your business noticed today. First Coast is making the switch to ESPN 690, and there's no better time to get on our team than right now. Call ESPN 690 today, 245-8732. That's 245-8732. Grow your business today on the new ESPN 690.
Hey everybody, it's Brent Martineau from Action Sports Jax. There's a good chance you have a smart speaker, so use it with ESPN 690. Stay up to date on the Jags and all things sports by telling Alexa or Google to play ESPN 690. It's as easy as that. Make sure you listen weekdays 3 until 6 p.m. on ESPN 690.
Hey, it's Mike Golick from Golick & Wingo. You're listening to Action Sports Jax with Brent Martineau and Austin Lane. Give the guys a call. Grab your cell phone and call *690. This is ESPN 690.
So listen, one more thing is next year we're coming right back here. One more time, baby.
Why do they all do that?
What's that?
Why do they all promise that they're going to win the next year?
Yeah, I mean, it's not a bad call.
Why?
I would just be
They
happy with
all
the
do it.
moment. Yeah.
Wouldn't you be upset he didn't say multiple years, though? He just said one more.
Well, how'd that pan out for James when he went to Miami? And he said, we're not going to win one, not
We're gonna
two,
win
not
next
three.
year.
That's true.
Oh, yeah. And what happened there?
1-2.
It's karma.
That's
Yeah.
not enough.
Hell, it wasn't 6, I'll tell you that much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then he left
And then-
before the job
so
was done.
about that, yeah.
And we got to do a better job, PR-wise, coaching these guys up on what to say and not to say. I mean, I get it. It's all cliche world.
Yeah.
But give me something different. Come on, Andy.
This sounds like a
if
game
he
for
goes-
tomorrow where
but if
Brent's
he-
going to give a Super Bowl speech. Like
I
a Super
want a
Bowl
parade
yeah.
speech.
Yeah.
But if
yeah,
he
I like
goes,
that.
if he goes up there and he goes, I guarantee next year we're going to have a winning record. People are going to be like, okay.
How about just say, we're to try to do this again? Because that's all we can control.
That's fair.
No, that's a good point. But you got to keep in mind where he's coming from, because it's the same spot where I would be coming from. If I was the head coach of an NFL team and we just won the Super Bowl and we got Travis Kelce gallivanting about Lord knows what, because he's obviously had a couple cocktails, and we got Patrick Mahomes double fisting beers on the parade, the face of your franchise. Like, I'm just trying to remind the fans, like, yes, this is a fantastic time. We won the Super Bowl, but hey, we're not complacent, right? We're going to try to win the next one next year. So I think it's just kind of reminding fans that, yes, we are partying right now. Yes, there's not a lot of guys that are sober right now on the stage with me, but you know what? We're going to go back to work in a couple weeks, and we're going to try to win another one.
I would have felt better if Andy Reid just said, I'm going to eat 3 cheeseburgers a day.
My treat.
Here's why. See, Providence guy in me, back in the Friar days of Rick Pitino telling everybody he'd never leave Providence, which was moronic, because of course you'd leave Providence when you can end up at Kentucky or the Boston Celtics or Louisville or anywhere else.
Correct.
Why would you stay in Providence? So you can't do that. It's dumb. Like, it doesn't help you out doing that. Now, this one's obviously at a much lower level. They're going to try to win. I just need a new line. I need to. Look, Tom Brady says it. I kind of believe him.
Sure.
Anybody else says it, I don't believe him.
Yeah.
It's hard to win back. It's hard to go back to back.
Yeah. Well, because
And they're not going, I'll put all the money in the world on it right now. They don't win next year.
But to be fair, though, with Tom Brady, it was like after the fourth one, he's like, yeah, here we are. We won again. Like, what else is new? We're good.
That's
I
different.
guess we're going to try to win another one. Here we go. You know, like, what do you want the guy?
Great when the Patriots won like their 6th one and said, hey, guys, we've thrown enough parades. We're not doing it.
Just have a little picnic or something? Not even have a parade, just a picnic?
Everybody just take a lap around your neighborhood.
There we go. Yeah. It's getting way too worn out and mundane.
That's right.
I like it.
Work productivity going down.
Yeah.
Brett Martineau, Austin Lane, Coos. We got a full house in here. We should get a camera on this whole room. Steph's here. Kaylee's here. Tyler's here.
Hall of Fame Steph, that is.
That's right.
Yep.
Mom's here from Rhode Island. Well, Massachusetts. I always say Rhode Island. Mom lives in Massachusetts technically now.
Okay.
Her backyard's in Rhode Island. Lives in a
For
place
real?
called Four Town Farm
Dang.
area. So it's like there's 4 cities. 3 of them
Okay.
are in Massachusetts. One of them's in Rhode Island. But their backyard is literally in Rhode Island.
Okay.
But like, I'm not from Massachusetts. I'm from Rhode Island.
Sure.
So Mom can have that little bit of zip code of Massachusetts if she wants, but not me.
How are like the state taxes for each state? Are they pretty much the same? I mean, can we mess around some numbers here? Or what?
Which one's worse, Mom? Massachusetts or Rhode Island? Rhode Island's
Rhode
worse,
Island.
yeah.
Okay.
Drivers are worse in Rhode Island, too.
Sure. Okay. Noted. Sounds good.
But yeah, Massachusetts is so big. Like, if I think Massachusetts, I think you're like Boston.
Of course.
You know?
Yeah.
We're from Providence.
Yeah.
You know? But anyway, good to have Mom in town for a few days, and we've been hanging out. And now we do a little radio today. Here's, speaking of PR, how are the Jags doing right now?
I go first.
There's nothing going right at Jags headquarters right now. Mm-hmm. And the whole London thing, you know what it is. We've been talking about it for days. And like I said, we can keep talking about it. We can make you feel better about it, or you can vent about it. That's fine. There's no other place to take it other than right now there's 2 home games, and that's in 2020. That's what it is. And that's the move they made. Mm-hmm. And the Jags fans are ticked off. There's Duval Coalition has really been good for the fans to jump on. And I think the Jags downtown are hearing it. I think they're a little bit surprised at the pushback. I mean, some of the powers that be, they have to be, because Shad Khan said on a conference call that he thought there would be a positive reaction.
And
so there's
I want to ask you
definitely a
about
little bit of
that,
surprise.
Too. Okay, I want to ask you about that, Brent. Do you think Shad Khan saying there's going to be a positive reaction does that come from him, or did that come from someone telling him, you know what, it's not going to be that bad?
Yeah, that's a fair question. I don't know how much of that goes on. Like, I don't know how involved PR folks are, and I'm sure, and I mean, if you're Shad Khan, who's a billionaire guy, do you get coached up on some of the things or what might be asked? I don't know. I don't know where that falls in. Or if it's just kind of what you think and what you say.
Well, because the reason I say that is if you have the PR, like obviously it's PR's job to try to spin everything in favor of what you want, right? So if you're working for Shad Khan, it's to be like, yeah, all right, we have to do 2 games in London, but you know what? It won't be that bad. Like, fans should understand this, yada, yada, yada. That's what PR sometimes can do. They kind of fix their narrative to their liking, right? Where if you're Shad Khan and you're the billionaire, you know, then it's a little different because then it shows you the owner of your team doesn't really know what the fan base is about. And that's where the miscommunication comes.
Well,
so I would be okay if it was the PR trying to purvey that message of, you know what, the fans aren't going to mind this too much, let alone from Shad Khan himself thinking that.
Either way, it was, I don't care where it came from.
Yeah.
We knew beforehand. I tried to tell some people this beforehand, and we know back. We know now.
Brent was putting out like signals. He's trying to tap some signals, man.
We now
Morse
know
code.
with all the blowback that the positive reaction was wrong. So the feel of that, whoever it came from, was wrong. I mean, there is not a good feeling around here because of it.
Correct.
There's no positivity at all out of it. In fact, you're really reaching if you can find positivity, at least in the immediate. What I believe they should have done is said, and whether it was Lamping, Khan, the team, however, is they really needed to say, we understand there will be some angst about this. We understand the hesitation. We understand what people have said about this city, but we just ask, and I'm not saying this would have worked. There was no good way to deliver this news, but they really just should have acknowledged the fact that, listen, we love your loyalty. We appreciate your loyalty. We're not just shoving you aside here, but there's a sense of, I know we've been bad on the field, so this might be hard to say and trust us, but you got to trust us here. We love Jacksonville. We want to be a part of Jacksonville. We've said we're going to be a part of Jacksonville. Our actions have indicated we want to be a part of Jacksonville, but we really believe this is the best way to, down the road, get where we need to be, whether that's 8 to 10, 12 years, and it's hard to ask fans to do that and think that way, but for us, in our organization, for this city, for this team, for everybody, we think this will pay off down the road. And again, I'm not saying that would have been like, oh yeah, standing ovation, nice job, we're in.
Take 3 games
Let's
if you
go.
want. Yeah, no.
But it would have at least acknowledged that we get it. We get it. We're taking some more football away from you, and especially our diehard fans and the people that have been willing to pay and sit there in 100-degree heat and all those things. And bottom line is, someone along the way, or some people along the way, and right now I just say the Jags organization along the way, miscalculated in a major way. And there's no denying that. They miscalculated what their message was compared to what the reaction was.
But this is where 100% of my frustration stems from, though, Brent, because this isn't the first case of that. This has been going on now for the past couple years. This has been going on when Tom Coughlin said he expects 100% participation. Like, you're not on the same page there. There's not the good communication. This was on the same page when you had the grievance gate go on, and 25% of the league grievances were filed by Jacksonville, and nobody in that stadium seemed to know, okay, well, you probably shouldn't be asking Dante Fowler to stay for treatment if he's out of town and stuff like that. So, like, this isn't the first case of that. Now, this could be the first case really involving the fans, but this has dealt with the players, too. That this has been a collective that's just been growing and growing and growing, and now it's really come to a head here with 2 games in London.
And that's fair to say. I do think it's totally unique because even in the Coughlin instance, Coughlin always had to, on the backbone of whatever he was doing and saying, and even if it wasn't well received, and even if it was more grievances than anybody else in the NFL, he had 2 Lombardi trophies to hold up and say, this is the way I've done it for 25 or 30 years, and this has worked. And it's really worked recently in the last decade. So at least he had that. Again, I'm not saying that was the right way to do it. But in my view, it's just totally different. In that sense. And again, when you waver the heartstrings of the fan base, none of what Coughlin did had anything to do with even the heartstrings of the players. Now, it did have to do with something with the wallet of the players.
Well, it had something to do with the wallet, but like, you want to talk about, do you kind of lose a feeling for your fans a little bit when you say things like, you know what, the fans are going to be happy when this news comes out? Like, do you kind of lose touch with the fan base? Absolutely.
Well, I think that answer
Just
in the last 2 days is yes.
Well, I think, do you kind of lose touch with the locker room a little bit when you find people for all these erroneous fines? Do you lose kind of that locker room a little bit?
The answer was yes.
And the answer was yes.
So yeah,
like,
okay.
That's what I'm trying to compare.
I get what you're saying. There's multiple examples on the football side now and on the overall side, the business side of it. Hey, keep the conversation going, 904-362-9901. We'll update you on what some of the fans are saying. And also, I still want to piggyback on something I said yesterday that I still think, and this is not going to let the Jags off the hook for everything, but I don't think there's one segment of this getting enough of the angst. And I brought it up yesterday. Just another point on that about this whole London thing. And where do we see London now? Do you think they will sign an extension? Could the fans prevent this to a degree? Do you think there's some power of the fan right here? Or do they have to kind of move forward as an organization and stick to their own plan? What do the Jags do now, essentially? It's next. Action Sports Jags on ESPN 690.
ESPN 690 Sports Center Update.
For 2019-2020 World Champions, you gotta fight for your right to party! Believe it! I love y'all!
I'm Jake Mitchell. That was All-Pro tight end Travis Kelce at the parade celebrating the Kansas City Chiefs Super Bowl victory. And in Jacksonville football news, one of the biggest Jag fan groups has started a campaign against the Jaguars playing a second game in London. The Bold City Brigade has over 16,000 fan signatures at current, including over 671 who claim to be local businesses. Don't forget to stay connected with ESPN 690 while you're at work by listening on ESPN690.com. The best kept secret in tires is TireOutlet.com. Tire Outlet offers wholesale prices with premium service, and TireOutlet.com always has a safety-first focus. With locations throughout the First Coast, there's no need to go anywhere else for tires and service.
The team at CGC Water is expanding in the Jacksonville market and looking to bring in some new talent. Join them next Tuesday, February 11th, as they host an open interview session from 10 a.m. until 2 p.m. Find out how you can help people and improve their lives and our communities through better water. They are looking to fill several positions in sales and service. For more information, visit their Facebook events page at CGC Jacksonville or email them at hr@cgcwater.com. CGC Water is your local authorized independent Connecticut dealer.
The mission of Jewish Families and Community Services is to strengthen the entire community by providing family and individual social services. The Players is proud to support Jewish Families and Community Services. It's 32 days until the Players.
It's happening, people. Our friends at Arlington Toyota are getting a brand new state-of-the-art showroom. And that means the old stuff is coming down, and so are Arlington's prices. I'm talking up to 50% less on remaining 2019s and even 2020 models. How about a 2019 Toyota 4Runner? It's not $31,755. Now it's only $26,991. That's $26,991 for a pre-owned 2019 Toyota 4Runner at Arlington. How about a 2019 Toyota Camry? It's not $19,745. No, now it's just $16,291. Just $16,291 for a pre-owned 2019 Toyota Camry at Arlington. Plus, you get the Arlington Toyota $5,000 Advantage Club, which includes a lifetime warranty with unlimited time and miles with your purchase. Construction is underway, and prices are coming down at Arlington Toyota. So get in today and pay up to 50% less on remaining 2019s and even 2020s. 10939 Atlantic Boulevard and online at arlingtontoyota.com. Visit arlingtontoyota.com/construction sale for offer details.
If you have a specific medical problem, you call a specialist. Broken leg? Call an orthopedist. Cataracts? Call an ophthalmologist. At Prime Men's Medical Center, our doctors specialize in ED and PE. Listen to Dr. Rubinski, a renowned expert in men's health.
I'm Dr. Rubinski. If you're experiencing ED or PE, Prime Men's Medical Center has custom blended medications to help you last longer in the bedroom, regardless of age or past medical history, with no pain or surgery. In fact, you'll see results in the office guaranteed or your exam is free. Patients are now lasting for 30, 60, 90 minutes or longer. And best of all, treatments are affordable.
Men. If Viagra, Cialis, or Levitra have let you down, call Prime Men's Medical Center for a private consultation with our highly skilled physicians. Call 904-206-8105. 904-206-8105. 904-206-8105.
Jacksonville Truck Center is here to help you get in the truck you deserve. When you need a fleet vehicle, Jacksonville Truck Center has the largest selection of pre-owned commercial vehicles, including cargo vans and work trucks. We're here to make it easy for you. There's commercial or personal financing available, even if you have bad credit. Don't spend your tax return money anywhere else. Visit the new Jacksonville Truck Center on Arlington Expressway next to the Southside Connector or online at jacksonvilletruckcenter.com.
Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Austin Lane from Action Sports Jax. Thanks for making ESPN 690 the fastest growing sports station in Jacksonville. It was a lot of fun playing for the Jacksonville Jaguars for 3 years, and I'm having just the same amount of fun on the radio every single day with ESPN 690. So I'm reaching out to you to be part of our team and grow your business with ESPN 690. Give us a holler at 245-8732. That's 245-8732. We look forward to hearing from you and hope you join the team.
Is your business as healthy as the products you sell? Then consider a sponsorship at the Jax Health and Fitness Expo on February 22nd at the Morocco Shrine. The Jax Health and Fitness Expo is recommended for businesses of all sizes, looking for thousands of health and fitness conscious consumers interested in ways to enhance their lives. Side effects may include selling out of inventory, excessive profits, and increased happiness. Space is going fast, so book yours today at 245-8596 or visit BeHealthyJax.com.
Golick and Wingo.
Andy Reid went into Super Bowl 54 with 221 career wins. So that means he got his 222nd career win on 2/2/20.
Golick and Wingo. Weekdays at 6 Eastern on ESPN Radio and ESPN2.
Brent Martineau.
You see him every day on CBS 47, Fox 30, Action Sports Jax.
Austin Lane.
He's a former Jag star and current MMA fighter.
Broadcasting live from the Anajar and Levine studio.
This is Action Sports Jax on ESPN 690 and ESPN690.com.
Pretty young team, and the fact that we won 15 games, made it to the Super Bowl after going 4-12 is, I think, pretty impressive. I think the work ethic and the mindset around the guys here and the selflessness from them, I think that in itself will speak volumes, and just our mindset going into this offseason, guys treat the right way. I think we'll have every opportunity in the world to go back.
That's George Kittle. I wonder what his reaction would have been if they did throw the parade and won. Parade in San Francisco. Gosh, that's got to be awful. Can you imagine the traffic there?
The hills.
Well, they've done it in Boston. That's tough.
Well,
Kansas City, it's like easy
They've done
enough.
Golden State.
Everywhere.
Yeah,
I guess Golden State.
Man.
I don't remember the parade for Golden State.
I don't really remember either. Yeah, it's California.
They'll find a way.
Have you seen the LA Kings Stanley Cup parade when they won it?
That's what I mean. They should just parade over the Golden Gate Bridge.
I had more people at my graduation cheering me on than the LA Kings did for their Stanley Cup ceremony. Just saying.
Well, not too many people thought you were going to make it.
Hey, right you are there. I didn't think I was going to make it, tell you the truth.
Brent Martineau, Austin Lane, Coos here on a Thursday. What day is it? Is an interesting one this week. Super Bowl hangover we all have.
Yeah.
But it is Thursday. And it's been a wild week in Jacksonville. London Stories continues to be a big one. Give us an update of what you're seeing. I know Jax Boz just tweeted at us and said about this Duval Coalition we told you about yesterday was basically, it's not just the BCB thing, Bold City Brigade, but Bold City Brigade and a lot of the folks that really have ramped that up over the years and done such a great job with it, and that diehard fan base of the Jags. And we've done it on our show, right? Bringing the brigade. We've had a bunch of guys on because of it. They started this Duval Coalition, which is bigger than just the brigade. It's anybody. Teal Street hooligans, Jags fan, anybody. And so they've done very well. I know yesterday we reported that the website shut down about 40 minutes in, and I think their numbers continue to grow and grow. I saw it last night, and it was they're calculating the numbers as they go, and people sign up for it. And Jax Boz, who listens to our show, tweeted at us and said something to the effect of Lamping's going to meet with this Duval Coalition, right?
Yeah, so basically what he said was the Times Union and Lamping have responded to them. Wait, I'm sorry. Yeah, Times Union said Lamping responded to the coalition and saying he'll meet with them sometime in the future.
Yeah, in fact, Jax Boz just sent to me. We've heard back from the Times Union said We've heard back from Jaguars president Mark Lamping. We look forward to having productive dialogue with the group, which, as I understand it, consists of season ticket members and local business owners. It's important for us to listen to our fans. So Emily Block from the Times Union sharing that today, and Jack Spaz passing that along. So, well, that's good. I mean, you're going to listen. I've said this. I've actually proposed this to some folks that I know down in downtown and said, why not do like a town hall? With the fans, because there's such an angst. And this was before this, by the way.
Yeah.
But I kind of knew where this was headed. So to reach out and make fans part of the conversation is an important thing. And I do think what fans thought here is they got blindsided by another game, even though there had been discussion of another game. But a lot of those fans thought that another game would come either as a road game and didn't fully understand the context of maybe having another home game, or next year when they go to potentially 17 games and there could be a neutral site game, if the CBA approves that and says that that's what they're going to do with 17 games, then it would be another one. So you actually wouldn't lose the amount of home games that you have in Jacksonville. Well, this one here in 2020 said, you are losing a game. We're taking it away from you.
Yeah.
And much like anything else in the world, no matter what it is, whether it's a baby or an adult, nobody likes to have anything taken away from them. And the Jags fans think that they're taking stuff away from them without much communication on the front. And listen, to a degree, you can't share everything you're going to do with everybody in town, because then you're not protecting anything you might do. What happens if it falls through, all those things. But I do think Lamping reaching out to this group and to other groups is a good sign of communication. I think the end game is not, hey, guess what? We're pulling that game back. Now we're going to have 7 games here in Jacksonville. No, they're playing 2 games in London in 2020. That's what's happening, and that's not changing. But I do think it could change the next 3. And I believe that's where we're headed. 2 days ago, we're headed to an extension that would see for the next 4 years, and they hinted at that. They hinted while Lot J is hopefully being built, this could help subsidize the local revenue. We get Lot J up and running, and bam, we can pull that game back. And we still have the 1 game in London, but it doesn't have to be 2. I'm totally paraphrasing here. I'm not quoting anybody as saying it. But I think that's the idea. And I wonder now, with all this pushback, if even the Jags will say, wait a minute, let's hold off on that next 3-year thing. Maybe the fans have a point, and maybe they're going to show us in a bigger way in these renewals and season ticket holders this year that they have a loud voice in this.
Let me ask you this question, though. 2 games in London, this falls directly on the owner. The owner's the guy that has the money, and he's the guy that has the final say. So this falls on Shad Khan. I guess my question to you is, are you a little surprised that it's Lamping that is being sent to meet with the coalition, not Shad Khan himself?
Yeah, listen, I think Lamping I give Lamping a ton of credit when it comes to a lot of Jacksonville things that have gone well. I know what people are snarky people are saying right now. Like what, Brent? But, I do think he's done some really good things. And I think he's a smart guy. I do. And I've long said I think he's a superstar down there and doesn't get a ton of the credit. So I think this in a lot of ways, while it's approved by Shad Khan, while it's also thought of by others, I think Lamping is heavily involved in this. Heavily involved in making it work. And I think he knows these ins and outs, and he's got the boots on the ground. And I just think he has all, like when you ask a question to Lamping about this stuff, man, he knows it detail by detail by detail by detail. It's really impressive,
So he's probably the better man to talk to, is what you're saying.
I think he's the better, from a detailed point of view, the better person to talk to about all the ins and outs. What's it mean down the road? What's it mean right now? What are people saying here locally? I think he is. Now, whether that's right or wrong, we can debate that. But I just think he is probably the better voice right now for the fans and others. And I think they're figuring that out. What do we need to say? What's the message now? Again, this is too late in a way, because I don't know if they saw all this coming, but now they're not necessarily backtracking on the decision, but I do believe that they are at least acknowledging, whoa, this is some blowback that we might not have anticipated. I just tweeted this out, and we'll come back in a moment or two. But I said this yesterday, and I see a lot on social media. I see a lot of the angst that people I talk to. It's all about Shad Khan and Mark Lamping, and look what the organization has done. I don't know if the city's getting enough blame here, in my view. I think this is a huge leverage play the more and more I think about it. And unfortunately, the fans are the ones being leveraged here. But I think it's a leverage play. Shad Khan, if you go back and think about what Shad Khan has told us over the years, he says, I don't want to stand still. I want to do this. I think we can do something here. I think we can build here. I think he said that for at least 5 years. And nothing is happening in that regard, other than what he puts his own money into in a big way in the stadium with the video boards and Daly's place. So I shouldn't say nothing has happened. But the next step of that has not happened. Started with the shipyards, now it's gone to Lot J. There's still one. I mean, there was talk that that ramp would have already started coming down by now here in February. There was talk that the shovel would maybe already be in the ground in Lot J if you go back a year and a half ago. And here we are, and it's still not approved, and we're probably going to get to the summer until that happens. I think in many respects, this is a little bit of leverage against the city to say, do you guys want to move this thing forward or what? We are here to help you move this forward, and you guys are not doing anything. Again, I'm talking from a Shad Khan Lamping standpoint. It's like they have continuously said, we believe in Jacksonville. It's bigger than football. It's about the city of Jacksonville. Yet the city of Jacksonville continues to, whether it's because of politics and red tape or whatever else, or opposition, they have continued to, well, kind of stand pat. And I'm not sure they're supposed to do everything Shad Khan wants them to do. I'm not into the politics stuff. I'm just telling you from a leverage standpoint, I think this is what it's about. And I think it's short-term leverage on Lot J and potentially the shipyards to get stuff going after a 5-year wait. And I think it's long-term leverage on a potential stadium renovation or new stadium in downtown Jacksonville in the next 7 to 10 years. And by the way, that is not uncommon in sports. Now, what happens often if they can't come to a resolution is some teams end up getting out of there.
Yeah.
That has happened in sports. But if you go all the way back even to the Patriots days, I was just talking about this. We always seem to bring up the Patriots and all this. But when Kraft bought the team, they were on the doorstep, man, of moving to Hartford, Connecticut. And he threatened to move to Hartford, Connecticut with that football team before they got things going on that stadium in Foxborough. So it happens, and it happens to successful organizations too.
But here's where I'm sitting from, Brent. All right, so I've been a resident of Jacksonville now for off and on, we'll say about 7 years. Okay. And when you say things like, well, it's the city's fault, this is kind of a jab at the city to try to get things going. I understand that completely. And I don't think you're wrong here. But my question to you is, well, who in the city? Because it's easy to point the finger at Shad Khan. It's easy to point the finger at Lamping because they're people, man. I can go on Twitter right now, type something that I'm probably going to regret later on the line, but say, you know what, this sucks, yada, 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 Shad Khan or Lamping, okay? I can type those things. But I just can't type, well, the city of Jacksonville. So then you say the city of Jacksonville. Who's to blame in the city of Jacksonville?
That's good. I mean, I guess when you blame the mayor, the city council, and everybody else that makes decisions. I honestly, like I said, I don't cover politics. When John comes up here, he talks about it more eloquently than I can.
Yeah.
I say this all the time. It sounds awful, but I come from a place in Providence that when I went to college, it was a whatever city. It was I don't know about a dump, but it wasn't great. When I come back, it's a beautiful city, and the mayor's in jail. And I don't care if the mayor went to jail. My city is now nice.
Can I ask what he went to jail for?
Oh, just go read. I told you to listen to the podcast, man. It's unbelievable.
Hey, there's a lot of podcasts out there. I'll get to it eventually.
And I'm not saying the city of Jacksonville should be corrupt and get stuff done.
Yeah.
But my point is they got stuff done somehow.
Okay. Yeah. Ignorance is bliss sometimes, huh?
Sometimes you have to have sacrifice.
Okay. Okay.
But you got to get stuff done somewhere down the road. I mean, people have been trying in Jacksonville for 30 years to get stuff done, and nobody can get stuff done. And I'll finish it on this point. Casey Ayers says, the very possibility of $200 million in taxpayer cash being even potentially available and avoiding a lease fight and potential injunction should rest on a second game not taking place even once. So that's a good starting point for deleveraging the conversation. I think what he's saying is, well, you're making it worse if you take a second game? Is that how you read that? I just want to clarify.
Yeah.
That's how I read it. There's one caveat to that. And listen, you should always be sensitive to taxpayer money, and $230 million is a lot of money. But the whole project potentially could be worth $700 million. You don't get people that line up here, fly off a plane in Jacksonville and say, hey, I'd like to contribute 33% of $700 million to a downtown project. We've tried for years to make that happen, and nobody stepped up to the plate. You have a billionaire guy that is willing to say, here's a $233 million check. And also, we're going to find you a place that also is going to give you $233 million in Cornish, who's going to build it and also own some of that, I think, if I understand it right. So can somebody else come up with the 33%?
Yeah.
There aren't people walking into Jacksonville saying they can do that. So you've got to find a way to make that work, in my opinion, if you want the city to advance. And by the way, if I'm the guy that's willing to give up $233 million of my own money, whether I have $8 billion or not, and they've done nothing in 5 years, sooner or later that might piss me off a little bit. And I'll get a little frustrated.
It's going to frustrate you, but keep in mind, you're not giving up that much money. You're investing that money.
That is true.
Because you plan on getting that money back eventually.
You do plan, but it's still risk.
No, with any business, though, Brent, any business is going to be some kind of risk involved.
And by the way, listen, I am totally just blanketing this coverage, this story. I mean, there are so many depths. There are so many depths. Somebody that knows the politics part just
Seriously,
sitting there poking holes left and right.
I have the biggest headache right now. It's not even funny.
But when I step back and think about this the last couple of days, and I try to think of where maybe they might be coming from, and I sense frustration. When the JEA thing did not end up in the Lot J plans, there was frustration from Mark Lamping. That was about a year and a half ago, and he was ticked. You could tell, noticeably. When I sat down with him the other day, the frustration that this city has potential to be so much better than it is, and it's still sitting there the way it has been for the most part, is frustrating Shad Khan and Mark Lamping, despite their efforts and willing to invest. Does that make taking a second home game to London right and sign off on it? No, I don't think so. But I'm just telling you, I think this is what it's about. I think this is about, can somebody get this going? And somebody sign off on getting this going. Stop putting a block to it. And they're frustrated. I do believe that. Right or wrong, I think there's frustration involved. And the more and more I look at it, I think that's the motivation for this. It's not motivated by money as much as it's motivated by movement, in my opinion.
Kuz, say this audio. This is going to be on the commercials when Brent Martineau runs for, city council.
No way in hell.
Oh, yeah.
Wouldn't do it.
Oh, yeah.
Wouldn't do it.
Come on,
Listen,
man.
I respect the politicians, the leader, all those. And I don't know their world very much. Like I said, I made it very vanilla and simple. It's harder than that. I understand that. But sooner or later, you got to get something done. And I just will go back to the thing I say all the time, and I'm getting tired of myself saying it. Do you want to be Birmingham or Charlotte? And you got 5, 6, 7 years to figure that out. Figure it out, Jacksonville. My job's to talk about it. My job's not to figure it out. Figure it out. Birmingham or Charlotte. And Birmingham, you're fine. But you ain't Charlotte. I'd rather be more like Charlotte.
I like it, man.
We're going to take a break?
I'm just going to have this conversation in the studio and not my golf course. Because if you were to combine golfing with politics talk, I would have been put in a coma by myself. My parents would have came and been like, what happened to us? He's in a coma. Oh, politics and golf. Yeah, that makes right about a sense. So it is what it is.
All right.
Very passionate, Brent. Nicely said.
Well, listen, and I don't want my passion to sound like defense for what they've done the last couple of days. But I do think there's more to the story than just taking a game to London. I really do. And I've told you where my belief is that they're not moving this thing, and they have no intention to move this thing. But I do believe they want to move things forward. And they're trying to be a catalyst for that in their defense. Again, that's simplistic, understood. And the fans are not wrong. And they were wrong in terms of maybe the move that they made to go to a second game, but also a move that they didn't see coming, the backlash from the fans.
Yeah.
And the fans are loud and proud here in Jacksonville. And they showed it the last couple of days. Again, I'll go back to what I said. I don't think it changes anything for 2020. It could be good that there's communication, according to the Times Union, with Mark Lamping and this Duval coalition. But this could be a potential stop or at least hey, let's think about this a little bit more. Talking about this 3-year extension or how else the Jags look in London in 2021, 22, and 23. And by the way, there's been a decent amount of backlash, or at least commentary, from players, too, that have said, I'm not so sure about that.
And one thing to keep in mind, too, if you're Shad Khan, if you're Lamping, don't take this backlash as an assault on your character, right? I'm sure there's being some things said right now that shouldn't be said, right? I'm sure there's some constructive things that are getting said and some non-constructive things. But if you're Shad Khan, if you're the owner of the Jacksonville Jaguars, you should appreciate this criticism. You should appreciate this passion because it shows that people in this city still care. And that's what you want more than anything. You don't want people just to go, London 2 games? Cool, sounds good. No, you want that passion.
I do think that's right. But if you gave me $100 million and then 3 years later I started ripping you because of something else. You'd probably be like, hey, dude, what the heck? I gave you $100 million.
Oh, I gave you $10 in Mobile. I'm still wanting my money back, dude. Yeah, absolutely, man. Come on.
We'll be back in Jacksonville. Next, Action Sports Jacks on ESPN 690.
This is Action Sports Jacks on ESPN 690.
My rookie year, we had these pills that we would swallow. It goes in your stomach, and then they can come by with like a scanner, and they can see what your body temperature is. Each pill that we took, and keep in mind, it's 90 guys in training camp. Each pill cost $100. So from that perspective, you're spending that much money per day, for the entire training camp. Yeah, there's a lot of money being spent for stuff like that.
Well, I just know how many gummy worms I had on the team playing, and I wasn't even part of the roster.
Listen weekdays from 3 to 6 p.m. in your car or stream them. ESPN690.com.
Do you know a child who is deaf, hard of hearing, blind, or visually impaired? The Florida School for the Deaf and Blind in St. Augustine offers a tuition-free educational program to prepare the child for a lifetime of success. FSDB offers free comprehensive education, transportation, and boarding services at no cost to all eligible deaf or blind students, elementary through high school, no matter where the student lives in Florida. Call 800-344-3737 or log on to www.fsdbk12.org to learn more.
There's a new sports medicine practice in Jacksonville.
Hi, my name is Stan Longenecker.
Hi, I'm Dr. Grimsley.
I'm Dr. Michael Adams.
Ortho Edge.
We believe that the patient pays money for a doctor and should be seen by a doctor.
They're getting the most technologically available medicine there is.
Ortho Edge.
You're going to get a much better experience with your physician. We all see our patients every time. Find out more about us at orthoedge.com.
We're in the DePaul building attached to St. Vincent's Medical Center, Riverside.
I'm Thea Jeffers, owner of Breezy Jazz Club and T-Works Interior Decorating. It doesn't matter where you come from, it's possible to own your own business. But starting a business isn't easy. The Jacksonville Women's Business Center helped give me the confidence to keep going when the going got tough. At JWBC, I got the training, networking, and support I needed to help me reach my goals. To find out more about how JWBC can help you, visit jaxwbc.com.
I'm Mark Kinder with Affordable Water. There's a process in water treatment called ion exchange. This process actually removes hardness using very little salt with our demand-metered systems. Our dual media system softens and filters water for your home or business. Affordable Water has been educating and serving Jacksonville for 30 years. We're licensed locally as well as on the state and national level. Affordable Water, 262-0197. That's Affordable Water, 262-0197. License number W32.
AffordableWaterJacks.com.
It's the home of the Action Sports Jacks Dream 18, and it can be your home course as well. The Golf Club at Southampton in North St. Johns County, located off County Road 210, family owned and operated, and a fun course to play. The Golf Club at Southampton offers club membership programs starting at just $79. With its elite practice facility and player-friendly golf course design, it will be your gateway to a great time with the family or with your buddies. Become a member in 2020. For more information, call the Golf Club at Southampton at 904-287-PLAY. Do what we do and chub it up at Mr. Chubby's Wings. Hey, everyone, this is Brent Martineau. They are my favorite wings in town. People love them at our ESPN 690 party to celebrate a year. You can just celebrate good wings, good food, and a fun atmosphere at Mr. Chubby's Wings. So many flavors to choose from. But you know what my favorite is, the Maple Cajun. Go give it a try. Drink specials, a full menu, and lots of TVs to watch any sport. Chub it up at Mr. Chubby's Wings, 2 locations on the west side and in Fleming Island.
Hey, boss, have you heard? More dirt about the Ding Dong Doorbell Company.
Uh-oh, what is it now?
Get this. Some software engineer for the parent company has called for the immediate and permanent shutdown of the company because of privacy issues.
Whoa, this is huge.
Yeah, you just can't keep track of all the hacking stories. Oh, and they just fired employees for spying on customers.
You realize this is bad news for us crooks, right?
What do you mean, boss?
Think about it. When these Ding Dong Doorbell customers finally get fed up, they could end up going to Safe Touch.
Oh, no.
Yeah. Once folks compare the cheap, unreliable, and vulnerable DIY system to a Safe Touch system,
then we've lost them forever. Boss, we gotta hope this Ding Dong Doorbell Company stops messing up.
Exactly. Because we gotta stick to the Crooks R Us motto. Stay away from Safe Touch houses.
Crooks know to stay away from Safe Touch houses. Hi, I'm Lester Jackson, president of Safe Touch Security Systems. No one beats our technology or our price.
Call Safe Touch today at 888-723-8682 or go to safetouch.com. State license number EF233.
Hey, it's Coos from Action Sports Jax on ESPN 690. Now, I know there's a ton of ways you can listen to the show, but did you know one of the ways is through a smart speaker? Yes, the Google Home, the Amazon Alexa. It's pretty easy to do. Just tell either of them to play ESPN 690. Try it out weekdays from 3 to 6 p.m., and you can listen to Action Sports Jax.
Hey, it's Mike Golick from Golick & Wingo. You're listening to ESPN 690.
ESPN Radio Sports Center.
I'm Doug Brown. ESPN's Adrian Wojnarowski reports the Clippers will get Marcus Morris and Isaiah Thomas in a 3-team deal with the Knicks and the Wizards. The Cavaliers are finalizing a deal now with Detroit to get center Andre Drummond. Miami gets Andre Iguodala in a deal with the Grizzlies. Iguodala will sign a 2-year, $30 million extension with Miami. ESPN's Paul Pierce.
With the East, it's pretty wide open. Outside of the Milwaukee Bucks, who I think can be vulnerable, this puts Miami in a great position to possibly, get to the conference finals or possibly the finals.
Paul Pierce on the jump. Memphis gets Justice Winslow in that trade. Heat forward Jimmy Butler is getting an MRI today on his sore right shoulder. He got hurt during last night's loss to the Clippers. ESPN's Adrian Wojnarowski reports the Warriors pick up Andrew Wiggins and a first-round pick in a deal with Minnesota. The Timberwolves will get D'Angelo Russell. And the 76ers get Glenn Robinson III and Alec Burks in a deal with the Warriors today. Golden State will get 3 second-round picks.
Right now at Wendy's, pick 2 faves, pay $5. Choose from 10-piece spicy or crispy nugs, a Dave's single or a spicy chicken sandwich. Wendy's 2 for $5. That's a win-win. We got you. Price and participation may vary at U.S. Wendy's. Spicy nuggets available for a limited time only.
WOKV Jacksonville. Listen live everywhere you go on ESPN690.com. ESPN 690, a Cox Media Group station. Broadcasting live from the ESPN 690 Anna Jar and Levine studios. Anna Jar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 904-600-4000. That's 904-600-4000. ESPN 690, Jacksonville's home for ESPN Radio. Brent Martineau.
You see him every day on CBS 47, Fox 30, Action Sports Jax.
Austin Lane.
He's a former Jag star and current MMA fighter.
Broadcasting live from the Anna Jar and Levine studio.
This is Action Sports Jax on ESPN 690 and ESPN690.com.
Y'all go ahead and get y'all tickets because y'all going to be in the same spot next year, all right? All right? Okay? So I don't want to hear. I can't get off work. I can't get out of school. I don't want to hear, my boss talking like, we can't get off. No, I don't want to hear that. Go ahead and plan for it.
Brent's blood just boiling right now.
Go ahead and plan for it. Okay, I will. By putting a bet against you.
And Brent Martineau's taking the field.
Well, did I tell you I'm going to Vegas in March?
Okay.
And I'm going to put 20 on the Jags.
Is there a
to
wedding
win the
there,
Super Bowl.
or what's going on in Vegas?
Bachelor party. So essentially, yeah.
When is this?
In March. Actually, during March Madness.
Coos, give us your wedding schedule this year.
I only have 3, but I have 2 bachelor parties on top of those.
That's a lot of friends. A lot of friends.
So you have 3 weddings, 2 bachelor parties?
Yes. Yep.
How big's your circle?
I mean, honestly, I feel like it's dwindling by the day because I don't go out anymore.
That's called getting older,
man. Are you
man.
like Sean McVay? Like if you ever made a phone call with anybody, it's magic? So like if you've ever like talked to anybody at a bar, you go to their wedding?
I guess so. Although like the weddings I've been in, like I definitely was like when they were announced, I'm like, oh, that's definitely something we're going to. Like, it's not one of those, like, maybe we won't get invited. It's always one that I'm like, yeah, we should be checking the mail. There's
Where is
definitely
this
something
weekend?
Confidence.
South Carolina.
Right
out south of Charleston.
All right. Good spot.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be a nice weekend. It's supposed to be a nice weekend up there?
It's supposed to be a little bit colder. They're getting hammered. I guess they were getting hammered by whatever is coming our way. So
that sucker is a big bad right now, though. You see the radar?
I heard about that.
I mean, it's
I
nasty.
Saw Mike Burrish is kind of all over it on Twitter.
Nice job. That's good promotion right there.
It's not promotion. It's fact, dude. I'm not promoting anything. I saw him on Twitter. He's all over it. Yeah.
He is all over it. He's always all over it. But First Alert Weather Day, oddly in February. That's kind of unique.
I think it's supposed to. I was reading like what Mike was putting out there, right? Like tomorrow it's going to be like this, but 20 degrees colder. So that probably temperature drop really messed some things up.
You know what that is? That's called a cold front coming in.
I like that, Brent.
But
it's probably going to be a cold front for you, too, with the fluctuation of temperatures. So that can be good for your immune system.
True.
Which I feel like is taking a hit lately.
My immune system's in tough shape right now. No doubt about it. The weather is a big deal today. And make sure you check out CBS 47 and Fox 30, Mike Borish all night long. But like school activities were canceled in Duval and St. Johns County, probably more, but I know Duval and St. Johns County. And UNF, I know, canceled any class after 4:30, I think it was. That was what else I saw. And John Bachman stepping in a minute. He probably can give us a little bit more of them. But it's going to be a nasty weather day, depending on where you live on the line. I know, like us down in St. Johns County area, it'll be later tonight, like around midnight, I think it looked like. So
he's moved that up a little bit.
Oh, moved it up?
Yeah.
So we're talking probably some nasty thunderstorms, a lot of wind, 30, 40-mile-an-hour gusts, and maybe some tornado watches and things like that, right?
Yes. Watches are in effect in some parts of our viewing area right now. I don't think that includes Duval or St. John's at the moment.
I think it was north, like southeast
it's
Georgia,
north
right?
and west of us at the moment, but that could creep into our areas sooner than later.
This thing looks like Armageddon on the radar.
Yeah, I'm torn because we got to be safe. We got everybody to be safe.
Bruce Willis and drill through it.
But
what do you say,
I'm torn. I mean, they got to do what they got to do. But
listen, I always act that way.
They're going to be bad storms, but we've been through bad storms before.
But
But anyway,
but
yes.
that's the big story tonight, though.
Yes, without question. We got the first alert storm tracker out. Russell Colburn's already on the road. He's heading west to Baker County right now. They've reported a here's the story right now. Brush fires. We've got a couple of them that have sparked up today in our area, in various areas. We've got one in Clay, one in at least one in Baker. There's another one. I'm drawing a blank where it is, but the Baker one is actually threatening some buildings at the moment. So he's headed that way. He was originally going there because a part of a roof had already been blown off because of the wind. And when I say part of the roof, I think it was kind of like the maybe the tar wrap that was on the roof, that had been flopped up. I mean, good strong wind gusts, but not like the roof structure necessarily. But that was happening. So he was heading that way. And then while en route, we got the notice that there's a brush fire moving as you would imagine, moving quickly. I mean, all it takes is one spark and then boom. And that area, I was just talking to Mike, west of the city, but even in Duval and some of St. John's, really a drought. I mean, some considered a drought because it's been dry, but it's even more dry west of us in the Baker County area. Okay. So it's not that surprising that something caught fire, and once something sparks, I mean, it's gone.
Well,
so,
and on top of that, with wind.
That's what I mean, with the wind, yeah. So we don't know how it started. We don't know, anything about it at this point, but it is burning, and they put out the notice and the warning, and so we're going to go cover.
But this thing's going like all the way up the East Coast, right?
The storm?
Impacted a lot, right?
Like
sleet and
the
snow
southeast
and
right
stuff.
now, like Texas and Oklahoma. Was it yesterday? Got snow out of this deal.
Wow.
Dang.
Because the temperatures are really dropping. So
right along that line, especially North Texas and Oklahoma was cold. It got cold enough apparently to have the snow, but which is pretty unusual. Not totally unusual, pretty unusual. And then there's a ton of rain in parts of Mississippi, and they had some damage done by the storm too in some of those states like Mississippi and Alabama. But now they're talking a lot of rain and all that kind of stuff.
John, just a question for you. Just like Koozie goes to weddings like every other weekend, are you going to start carrying this typewriter around under your arm everywhere you go?
Can we please address this 300-pound gold elephant in the room right now?
Yes, it is the golden typewriter.
If you haven't seen it on social media yet, then you're not on social media. I think it was even on CBS 47 and Fox 30 last night.
I made sure that the other guy was well aware of it.
That's good. It's not in that building anymore.
No, and so
by the way, when the other guy had it last year, he didn't keep it in our building. Put it in another radio.
What's up
building.
with that?
That's right.
Well, that's why it's going to live up here.
It's home.
Because if I leave it downstairs, the other guy may take it, as he tried to do last night on air.
Yeah.
I don't know if you saw that. So I am going to leave this up here in Justin's care.
Oh, that's
because I don't necessarily trust Martineau either because Martineau didn't win it this year.
Well, yeah, but I do like that it's in our building. I'm kind of like the SEC fan now.
Yeah. You'll root for
I
Alabama.
didn't win, but go John.
I'm the SEC fan. You're like the Vanderbilt fan right now. You have no reason to talk about anything, but for some reason you are. It's all good though.
So I thought Kuz could have this, and and also Matt, shout out to Matt Ray because between Kuz and Matt Ray, that's the reason we won the thing. The guys won. Those guys won it because
let's relax on the whole Kuz topic. But okay, I see what you're saying.
Well, okay, I'll be honest. I was being nice. It's mostly Matt Ray.
I know,
but Kuz I think made at least a couple putts in there that were.
If you made a putt or two, it was valuable.
Yeah, I made a few putts.
All right, I see you, man.
Yeah, no, it's
sounds
true.
like we have to go to Venture Land and get a little putt challenge.
All I'm saying is, if I keep winning like this, how many more wins do I have to do to work my way back up to a rematch for us?
Oh. Hey, you have to earn that, sir.
That's what I'm saying. First. This was step one.
Step one. You got about 20 more steps to go.
We're now Kevin McHale amount of days away from the Players' Championship.
We are
by the
Shaquille O'Neal amount of days away. Don't ever. No, it's Shaq.
How about Magic Johnson?
Magic's 32, isn't he?
Yeah, but I'm 32 years old. So Shaquille O'Neal.
All right.
Thanks.
Okay.
Who else?
All right.
Magic, Shaquille, Kevin McHale in my era.
Who else is 32?
I can look that up quick.
What number was Mariano Rivera?
Was it Jim Brown 32?
I know it's changing sports. What was Rivera? Was he 32?
42.
42.
Yeah, he was Jackie Robinson's last one to
What was Emmitt Smith? Is he 23?
22.
22. I was way off. Wow. How the 32s?
I feel like Jim Brown was 32.
I'm impressed with your jersey number knowledge.
I'm pretty sure Jim Brown was 32.
All right.
I should know that better, but I'm pretty sure. But anyway,
I'm still going to look it up, so just take your times and we'll get there eventually.
So real quickly, if I can, I just want to tell you that the highlight, I didn't really play that well, Brent. I mean, truly, Vince James with the tour and Matt
played well. So Matt Ray's a good player.
Matt Ray had a high handicap
and played well
and putted well.
So he's a good cheater.
Well, I wouldn't say that.
I don't know Matt
I
well
wouldn't say
enough
that because
to
here's
really
the deal,
start
Brett.
ripping him like I do Kuz.
I saw him hit it off the tee, and he struggled off the tee.
Here's the thing. With Matt, he's technically part of the show as well because he's the voice of the intro. So in a way,
I got to be nice to him.
Yeah, you do.
Too.
Yeah, so don't be calling him a cheater. And here's the deal.
It just sounded like you were trying to call him a cheater during your description.
No, here's what I'm saying. No, that's not true. Because
it sounded like it.
Hey, how handicaps work is that you have to play your ball for the entirety of the hole and the entirety of the round. And if you can't get it off the box and you can't get it to the green, you're going to make big numbers and get yourself a big handicap. That's how it works.
Yeah.
So
But when you're playing in a shamble and you got somebody to drive it out there.
Somebody who can get you 100 yards out to the green in one, you got a chance.
You can worm burn one up there and make a putt.
Or put you on a par 4 in one, like maybe somebody I won't name.
Still talking about that 2 days later.
Oh, heck yeah. I drove 12. That's right.
What was more impressive, you driving 12 or me almost making hole in one on 17?
By far and away your hole
really?
One. Yes.
But
because
everybody
it's
can hit 125
from the white
yards.
Tees. I did it from downwind on the white tees. Okay. Big deal.
All right, fine. I'll take it.
No, you should take
Didn't win the trophy, but I got that.
Sandy Koufax, 32.
Koufax was 32?
A good call.
Yep.
That's a good call.
O.J. Simpson, 32.
Oh, shoot. Should have got O.J.
Don Mattingly was 23 if you're
Edgerrin James.
Edgerrin James.
So I guess looking back on it, Shaq's not a really good one because Shaq was 34 for the Lakers. He was 32 in Orlando, but he wasn't 32 for his whole career.
We went to Miami, too.
Yeah.
Different number?
You're putting me on the spot. Yeah, I'll find out.
He was 34 with the Lakers. Shaq was.
Charles Barkley was 32 with the Sixers.
Was Shaq 33, I think, at college, right? I
Shaq
think at LSU.
was 32 with the Heat as well.
So he's 30. So 32.
32, yeah.
Orlando and the Heat. But the Lakers, I guess, are more notable, but he won championships.
He did win with D-Wade in Miami.
And LSU, he's 33. How about that? 32, 33, 34.
Mm-hmm.
Shaq was. Those are good numbers.
Yeah.
Good numbers.
Those are good numbers in hoops.
What are those linebacker numbers in football?
Nah.
What are they?
Those are
32?
Safety numbers.
Safety numbers, yeah.
Safety numbers,
yeah.
That's out the window
Or
nowadays,
actually running back numbers.
Well,
That's
they're running back,
and
but I think is safety too or not? I don't know.
It can be running back and fullback.
Running back, yeah.
It's not like I played in the game or anything, so I should know that stuff.
There are numbers.
Why would you know that? But those things are thrown out, right?
Hey, John, I was 73 in Chicago, okay? Numbers didn't really matter to me.
That's what I'm saying. They don't matter to anybody, do they anymore?
Well, no, they do. Like, there's a certain regulation you have to follow.
Like linemen have to have certain numbers,
correct, yes.
But after that, it doesn't matter, does it?
Receivers have to have a certain number.
Really?
In the NFL. College, it's Anybody can. Oh, yeah.
Okay.
We have 315-pound defensive lineman rocking
number
number 5.
and 2. Yeah, that's what I thought.
Yeah.
Well,
Okay,
yeah,
but
look at
NFL, you have to do that.
Auburn kid.
Exactly.
You know?
Yep.
All right. Jack Stan, golf fan, by the way.
Yeah.
Wants to know how far is it from the whites on 12? Do you remember?
Yeah, I do remember.
Of course you did. If you drove the green, you remember.
Of course I do. So the pin was up front at 265 from the white tee box.
To the pin or to the center of the green?
No, to the pin.
265.
265. My ball ended up at about 285. Because we had a 20-yard putt coming back.
This just in, got a text from the tour. They put a trampoline 20 yards out.
And now we know my secret.
It is something, though.
When I hit it, it was tracking.
Yeah,
I was like, this could be close. And then it bounced. I saw it bounce. I'm like, oh, darn, it bounced too hard. And then it rolled, and you knew it was a long ways past the hole because it disappeared. It went down that slope, and then it reappeared. I'm like, oh, man, I'm a long way away.
That's a good hole. I like that hole. They have made that hole that was just kind of a hole into a hole, like a good hole.
And when did they put the stands there? Is that new this year?
No, they've done that now.
They must have done it after the rebuild.
13 and 12.
Yes, it's fantastic. I mean, what a fun place to watch the golf game. And,
of course, tacos at 12 are out there, too.
Yes.
See, that's the whole idea of the Players' Championship. They want you to go see those other parts because there's good holes.
That's
really,
right.
if you take a look at the back 9 now, you've got a good hole on every hole.
Yes.
Now, a lot of people will still sleep on number 15. I think the 15th hole is an awesome hole to watch golf at the Players' Championship.
I was telling John, my favorite spot is to sit right at 12 where you guys were just talking about and to kind of go in between 12 and where truck's at 10.
Yeah.
Or just go back and forth
you
in
can get
between
the 15
there.
over there, the 15 green, 16 tee.
Mm-hmm.
But
plus, then you get access to 13, which is a good par 3.
Excellent par 3.
Yeah.
Especially, I think, on Sunday is when they usually put it down in that funnel.
Yes.
I think it's
and what
Sunday.
I was going to say, too, is that at number 12 is when they put that pin left, like where it is in front is very hard for driving it because you can't stop it there. So that's a tough spot.
Well, those guys are hitting 3 woods, 5 woods.
Of course, but even those guys will have a hard time stopping it there. You really, because I landed mine before the green. I thought maybe I had landed on the green. Caddy said, no, I landed about 10 yards short of the green even.
And it still rolled out.
And it still rolled out. And the green, it was pretty soft. I mean, they had kept the water on it pretty well. But when they put that pin on that left spot, you're about maybe 5 yards from the water. I mean, if you tug that thing left at all, and you are in the drink.
It's a change they've made, actually. The first year when they started 12, when they had redone it, it was anything left of that pin would go in the water.
Yeah.
And I think they raised it. I don't know how much, maybe a couple feet, but they actually leveled it out a little bit because I think the players complained about it, quite honestly.
Even if it was on the green, it would roll out.
You could land in the middle of the green and it would roll into the water.
Wow.
And so
you don't want to be hitting 3 wood doing that.
I'm pretty sure the secrets of TPC Sawgrass. I think they raised that up a little bit.
They do still have it shaved, don't they? As I recall, the left side.
I think they do. There might be a couple of yards of rough.
Maybe so.
But because they want guys going for it.
Of course they do.
But if the ball's going to end up in the water 50-50,
they're not going
to take the chance because either way they got a 70-yard shot, which they can knock it within 10 feet every time.
Except that shot is not easy.
Well, they can make it whatever shot they want. If they want 100 yards, they just back off with a 6-iron.
It's amazing, though. You see that hole now, and it's hard to remember how it was before the redo. I remember
You're right.
But it's kind of hard.
Mounds on the left.
The mounds on the left, and it was just an entirely different hole, obviously.
You never thought, if you played that golf course 5 years ago, like, well, you can't make this thing much better than it is. It's unbelievable.
Yeah.
The 12th hole and other things, little things, have made the golf course better than it's ever been.
I agree.
I think.
I agree.
All right, man. You guys got a busy night ahead on the weather side and news side. CBS 47, Fox 30, John Bachman, Tanika Hughes. Happy birthday to Tanika Hughes.
Yes.
Nice. And
we're
also
celebrating down there right now.
Mike Burrish and the weather team, First Alert Weather Team, the best in the business. Make sure you check them out on the app, on TV, on social media. Stay tuned. Keep your family safe and heed all warnings because it could be a windy and stormy night around Jacksonville.
It will be. I mean, it's already windy. It's going to be windier. We got obviously a lot of things we're keeping an eye on with that. And yes, it's going to be stormy. How stormy, we don't know yet, but it's going to be stormy. So you can rest assured on that.
John, what number caller should we give away tickets for this summer? Def Leppard, Poison, Motley Crue, Joan Jett at the bank this summer. Couple of tickets, right? I want to see. I keep saying two tickets.
Well, it's a pair of tickets, yes.
Yeah. That's 2. Goose.
Yeah.
I didn't mean a couple. He thought I meant a couple pair of tickets, I think.
Okay, so like 4.
Just bailing them out.
Yeah, you really are, man. You're going above and beyond right now, Brent.
But what caller?
What caller?
904-362-9901. You better hurry. They're calling. 904-362-9901. Caller
my
number
7.
7.
The Mickey Mantle number.
Oh, my gosh. Just made a Yankees reference here on the show. Get out of here, John Bachman. We'll be back. Action Sports Jacks on ESPN 690.
I was
Unbelievable.
Unbelievable.
It's my number in college.
Number 11. Coming up next, I got a Mookie Betts, Yannick Ngakoue comparison.
Can't wait to see where this goes.
Oh, boy.
Yeah. It's not good, is it?
Probably
not. Not good
Yeah.
if you want to keep him here. Is that what you're saying?
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Mookie Betts, Yannick Ngakoue.
Hey,
Comp. Coming up. Action Sports Jacks on
Can't wait.
ESPN 690. Take your Mickey Mantle jersey. Get out of here, Bachman. We'll see you on TV, CBS 47,
guys.
Fox 30.
Action Sports Jacks with Brent Martineau on ESPN 690 is brought to you by Best Bet Jacksonville and Orange Park.
Now, the first alert forecast on ESPN 690.
A tornado watch is in effect for Baker County, but the severe weather threat is area-wide, including Metro Jacksonville, for mainly later this evening and overnight when a band of potentially severe storms moves across the area. Much cooler tomorrow, partly to mostly sunny in the lower 60s, and mostly sunny Saturday with a high of 66. From the First Alert Weather Center, I'm Action News Jax Chief Meteorologist Mike Burrish.
The Weather Center is brought to you by Beards Diamonds, where for a limited time,
0% financing store-wide.
Find out more at beardsdiamonds.com.
In general, I'm a win-win guy. When I have to spend hours searching for the right part, it's lose-lose. It's time lost for me and lost time for my crew. That's why I order from Grainger. With product experts that have the answers to my toughest questions, an easy-to-use website to help me find the right product quickly, I can rely on Grainger to make getting supplies for my business as simple and seamless as possible. When it comes to getting things done, it's a win-win when Grainger's got your back. Call clickgrainger.com or stop by to see for yourself. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Be bold, Jacksonville. Whether you want to be cold or hot, Bold City Heating and Air will help. Hey, everybody, this is Brent Martineau. I needed a new air conditioning system this summer and called the good folks at Bold City Heating and Air. It was worth the call. A competitive price, good communication, fantastic service. A new system is a big investment. You want a good experience. My family had that at Bold City Heating and Air. You can too. They will help you design the perfect system for your home while staying within your budget. Be bold and give Bold City Heating and Air a call or visit boldcityac.com.
Ironically, my health and fitness business was feeling slow and out of shape. That's why I booked space at the Jags Health and Fitness Expo on February 22nd at the Morocco Shrine. The Jags Health and Fitness Expo draws thousands of health and fitness conscious people looking for ways to enhance their health. That's just the type of customer my business needs to get back in the game. Give your business a boost and book your sponsorship now at 245-8596 or visit BeHealthyJax.com. 245-8596 or BeHealthyJax.com.
Hey everybody, Trey Wingo here from Golic & Wingo. Thanks for making ESPN 690 the fastest growing sports station in Jackson. It's clear Northeast Florida has great taste in radio. I mean, you're listening to me every morning, right? Join the ESPN 690 team and get your business notice today. The First Coast is making the switch to ESPN 690, and there's no better time to get your business in front of them. Call ESPN 690 today, 245-8732. That's 245-8732. Grow your business today on the new ESPN 690.
It's time for some straight talk. You know what a full court press is in basketball, right? Full defensive coverage with no holes. Well, that's the kind of coverage you get with Straight Talk Wireless. It runs on America's best 4G LTE networks, same as the big carriers, but just for a lot less. Just $45 a month gets you the unlimited plan with 25 gigs of high-speed data, then 2G, saving you up to half the cost of the big carriers. No contract. Full court coverage, half the cost. Straight Talk Wireless, everything for less. Savings may vary. See terms and conditions at straighttalk.com.
There's never been a better time to be a doer, not with the Home Depot in your corner. And new digital tools on our Home Depot app, like image search. Snap a picture with our app, find just what you need. And our product locator will not only tell you how many we've got, it'll lead you right to them in the store. Oh, and if you can't make it to the store, we can deliver. From time-saving tools to game-changing innovations, it's a good time to be a doer at the Home Depot. How doers get more done.
Jacksonville Truck Center is here to help you get in the truck you deserve. When you need a fleet vehicle, Jacksonville Truck Center has the largest selection of pre-owned commercial vehicles, including cargo vans and work trucks. We're here to make it easy for you. There's commercial or personal financing available, even if you have bad credit. Don't spend your tax return money anywhere else. Visit the new Jacksonville Truck Center on Arlington Expressway next to the Southside Connector or online at jacksonvilletruckcenter.com.
Hey, boss, did you hear the latest about the Ding Dong Doorbell Company?
Oh, no. Something that's going to send even more of their customers to Safe Touch, no doubt.
Oh, yeah, this might be the final straw. You know about their smartphone app?
Since I don't have a smartphone, no, I don't keep up with that stuff.
Okay, Grandpa. Well, customers download this app on their phone so they can see who's at their front door and stuff.
Yeah, I seen that.
Well, turns out that the app comes with these hidden third-party trackers that harvest and share personal information from the customer's cell phone.
Oh, yeah, that'll send folks to Safe Touch, all right.
Especially when they find out that Safe Touch has encrypted technology and they don't invade your privacy.
Every person that switches to Safe Touch is bad for us crooks. Because we gotta stick to the Crooks or Us motto, stay away from Safe Touch houses.
Crooks know to stay away from Safe Touch houses. Hi, I'm Lester Jackson, president of Safe Touch Security Systems. No one beats our technology or our price.
Call Safe Touch today at 888-723-8682 or go to safetouch.com. State license number EF233.
First Take, your take.
Who should be the highest paid athlete in all of sports? As we're going to have this conversation about who wins the Super Bowl next for Patrick Mahomes is a payday.
First Take, your take with Jason Fitz from 1 to 3 Eastern on ESPN Radio and ESPN News.
Hi, I'm Ryan Murphy, Olympic gold medalist. You're watching Action Sports Jax.
I think a lot of people at this point in Philadelphia are just saying, well, he won a Super Bowl, but he wasn't a head coach of the Philadelphia Eagles when he won it. And we kind of, are looking at him sideways. But as a former player, I appreciate everything that Andy was able to do there in Philadelphia, especially for my career. I understand the mentality of the head coach, and I also understand the thought process that I don't want to throw any of my players underneath the bus. And that's the type of coach that Andy was. And, again, that's why so many of his former players absolutely love him.
Who was that?
Westbrook.
I was like, who is it?
Yeah.
You say it all the time about Andy Reid. I think across the board, I'm sure you have detractors when you coach. You have somebody that you put in the doghouse, didn't think you treated them right, whatever it is. But Andy Reid does seem like one of those guys that there's a bond there with former players, whether you played for a week or 10 years. And I got to believe most coaches are like that. There are bad fallouts between players and coaches. That happens. You even, if you played any kind of sports, you like the coach, and then maybe you just one was like, okay, I never played for a coach like I didn't like at all.
Yeah.
But Andy Reid seems like one that that bond is probably strong with players. The amount of respect there for players, and it comes with a two-way street. But even some of the guys that you'd think, oh no, I bet a lot of people hate, like Bill Belichick. No, there's a special bond between players and Belichick for what he does and accomplish. And I always think people are different behind closed doors anyway than what we see in front of a microphone. There are a laundry list of players that know Bill Belichick a way we all don't know Bill Belichick.
Correct.
And will tell their kids and their grandkids all about him and how much he means to them outside of championship rings and everything else, which is always cool. I think those things are cool. Unfortunately, for a lot of those things to bubble to the forefront, you got to win championships. It's the name of the game in professional sports, and even now in college sports, is for those guys to get their due for what they've done maybe for 20, 25 years. You almost have to win the whole thing for it to be validated in the way it maybe should have been validated for the last 20 years.
You know what? And I think it's a testament with Andy Reid, and we talk about Bill Belichick. Listen, if you win a lot of football games, your coaching style is not going to be put on blast that much, right? Because you're winning football games, so it's like, it doesn't matter what kind of coaching style you bring. As long as you're winning, you're going to have the team's respect. But to me, what sets apart from, the successful winning coaches from the legendary coaches, from those Hall of Fame coaches, it's how they can get a team to respond after you've lost. Okay, how you can get a team to respond like in Kansas City when they won 2 football games, had the first pick of the draft. How did you respond next year? And to me, that's a testament of a fantastic coach. Yeah, of course, everybody can win football games, man. You can have fun and everything, but when you have to get a locker room together to try to rally around each other, different egos, different personalities, when you're losing, man, only a select few coaches can actually have success doing that.
That's what's pretty cool about what Kansas City did, right? They make it to the AFC Championship game. They lose in overtime, and we get the football in overtime. Yeah. And so, bam, they look like the greatest team, kind of like Baltimore did this year, and they don't get all the way into the Super Bowl. And so, really, my thought process was, watch, this year they'll get there. They knock down that door, they'll get there. I think that does happen in sports, especially with teams that you can tell are on an upward trend. And maybe Baltimore will be like that next year. The Saints have kind of felt like that, and then, man, they just get, I don't know about robbed, but they get dramatically lose, and it's just been crazy in a weird way. But on top of that, Kansas City, I say it all the time, they got lucky a little bit. They lost 3 home games in a row. Mahomes goes down with that knee injury, and if he's not double jointed, I mean, they're done, right? Yep. There's some crazy, wacky, lucky thing there with the knee. And then they get hot at the right time, and you peak at the right time. Mm-hmm. And probably sometimes last year, maybe Kansas City peaked in November and December and not necessarily in January when you needed to. But Kansas City got it done. All right, a couple of topics I want to get to before I get too deep and teasing them and not talking about them. Brent Martineau, Austin Lane, Coos here on a Thursday. Thanks for hanging out with us. Action Sports Jax on ESPN 690. We continue to talk about the London topic and continue to open up the phone lines and the conversation on social media, which continues, and I'm trying to get to some of those responses as well. But feel free, 904-362-9901, to continue that conversation. Talk a little more football right now, though. Tight end position, we talked about at the top of the show. If you think about the personality of some of these teams, Kansas City, you think about San Francisco, think about the good players and the good success of, say, a Minnesota with Kyle Rudolph, a Philadelphia with Zach Ertz and Goddard and other guys like that. Just those and Gronk, Take those guys.
Well, Oakland too, man. Waller, I get he's on the West Coast and he's a kind of flash in the pan kind of guy, but Waller really turned that offense around, bro.
He did, but they haven't won big. I'm talking about teams that have been at the Final Four, the Super Bowl.
I see
You're
what
talking
you're
about
saying.
teams that have been super good. The tight end has been a big part of that.
I got you.
But what fascinates me, and we kind of were talking about this a little earlier, it's like the identity of it's the new white man position.
Yeah.
The white player used to be locked into the quarterback spot.
Correct.
And I'm not saying that's not happening anymore, but now we see Patrick Mahomes win a Super Bowl, Lamar Jackson win an MVP award, and Russell Wilson has been as good as you can get over this stretch of time for the last decade. And so I'm not saying that conversation is done with, but it was a prime conversation for a while, and I think that script is changing. I don't think we're going to have a conversation about what is the white man's position
for sure.
in football.
Yeah.
But it's interesting that the tight end position kind of is that spot, but full of personality is the thing that intrigues me a little bit more. Mm-hmm. Like, that is the personality spot, the production spot. It's like 2 Ps, personality and production of a team. It was with San Francisco. It was with Kansas City. To me, they were the 2 most important players on their team, believe it or not. I thought that those guys made them go. Kittle didn't have a good Super Bowl. Really wasn't involved and was part of a key play late in the first half, but they ended up losing. Kelsey, while not dominant and not as productive as he had been the entire postseason, was a big part of their Super Bowl win, caught a touchdown. Also, that pass interference down near the goal line. Yeah. I think he had 6 catches for 43 yards. So it wasn't like this great fantasy game, but he was super productive. Mm-hmm. But bigger than that, it's their personalities. That bravado, that swag comes from those guys, which is unusual, I think, in the game of football. I think that's a linebacker thing. I think that's a wide receiver thing. I think that's sometimes a pass rusher or a secondary guy thing.
Sure.
Not usually a tight end spot, and here we are.
And it's such a kind of a crazy observation here, Brent, because we talk about the tight end position, and essentially, especially nowadays, it's a glorified receiver, right? It's a big receiver. And when you talk about guys that have the ability to score touchdowns, get in the end zone, you would think that comes with ego. I'm reminded of Tony Gonzalez. I don't ever really remember Tony Gonzalez ever doing anything out of the ordinary when he scored a touchdown. He was just kind of this low-key kind of guy, the mark of a professional. Antonio Gates, another guy who kind of revolutionized the tight end position, right? Former basketball player, comes in and dominates right away. Antonio Gates, for the most part, was a quiet guy. You know, he didn't really make a lot of rumblings, wasn't this
hardly knew he was still in the league lately.
Exactly, man. He just went about his business, and he went about it at a very high level for a very long time. You know, then I think, honestly, it's hard to say, like, all right, so, like, who put tight ends, like, on the map, where it was kind of like, you know, this guy comes along, and he's this ego-driven type of dude. And I was going to say Jimmy Graham, first of all, because I'm reminded of Jimmy Graham back with the Saints, who used to dunk the ball and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But then, this literally just came to me, I'm reminded of my childhood back in middle school. And it was a guy that, small town Iowa, Wisconsin, like, we grew up idolizing because this dude was just crazy. And the play that I remember most of him was his rookie year. I think he was playing the Houston Texans, and he ends up stiff-arming this guy and just puts him on his back, and then he celebrates after it. Name was Jeremy Shockey.
Oh, yeah, right. You're right. You're right.
Jeremy Shockey, to me, and he's, let's be honest, through the history of the NFL, kind of the guy that goes underneath the radar a little bit, right? Because he didn't really have a legit career. I mean, he had a couple good seasons, but I wouldn't anything call like a Hall of Fame career, obviously. But I think Jeremy Shockey was really, you know, that trendsetter. And to be fair, he was also a white guy with tattoos, you know. I'm not trying to stereotype. Personality, though. Exactly. Right? And that, to me, is the guy that kind of started the trend. Nobody really kind of followed suit, though, for a long time. But to me, Jeremy Shockey's where it started.
That's a great call.
Yeah.
I mean, again,
I literally just thought of it.
You know, listen, you can go back in the day in tight ends and the Kellen Winslows and all that, but I mean, I don't think you think personality with that position. I mean, we're playing in the greatest tight end era of all time, right? I mean, we must be.
Yeah.
With Tony Gonzalez and what we have now, and that passing of the baton, if you will. Antonio Gates, you already mentioned. I mean, we just got some all-timers. And it's so productive because of the passing game, how they are used. They're not just blocking tight ends. Some of them are just actually pass-receiving tight ends.
Correct.
And even the next wave of them. I mean, whether it's Hawkinson or Fant or you name it.
Yeah.
Hopefully Josh Oliver.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, exactly.
But it begs the question this. Quietly around here, Mercedes Lewis kind of had a presence. He wasn't the swag-filled guy that I'm talking about with maybe a Shockey, Kelsey, Kittle. But he had presence. He was more the Kyle Rudolph, Greg Olsen type, probably Antonio Gates, kind of the way he carried himself. But there's a presence about that position. I don't think Josh Oliver will have that kind of presence. He's a quiet guy. He's an unassuming guy. Now, maybe we talk 6-7 years down the road and it's totally different. He's a young guy. But it doesn't – my point of this conversation is we know the Jags need tight ends. But they almost have to find a tight end with some personality, it feels like, to kind of substantiate that position. And I don't know if that's fact. I'm just saying it feels that way. We know they need more production out of that position in a big-time way. They're one of the worst in the NFL at that position, absolutely, bar none. But I do wonder if you can go find some character there, right? Some personality there as well, and if that will help your football team.
So here's the funny thing about it, okay? Because we talk about George Kittle, and yes, George Kittle kind of brings the personality a little bit, but I don't think he's like, you know, like overboard with it.
He's not Kelsey-esque, right?
He's not Kelsey-esque, okay? But it's funny, and once again, I'm just sitting here and I'm dwelling on the topic here.
He's brash, though, I will say.
Yeah. You know, like, obviously I spent some time with Mercedes Lewis. At the time, one of the best two-way tight ends in the entire NFL. I mean, he was one of the best blockers combined with the best receivers when he went to the Pro Bowl that year. It's funny because as I sit here and I hear you say they got to find a guy with that personality, a guy that, you know, can kind of be the voice and kind of have that ego a little bit and kind of cause a scene a little bit in all the respective ways. The more like I think about guys like Mercedes Lewis, the more that I think about guys like I went against like Greg Olsen from Carolina, guys that I played against a couple times like Owen Daniels back in Houston when he was playing in Gary Kubiak's system. Those guys were all pretty quiet on the field, and they didn't really make a lot of waves outside the field. And what they have in common, and I'm going to put TJ Hawkinson in this category too, is they take pride in their blocking. Like there's a direct correlation to guys that aren't like, you know, the typical diva receiver type. Like, not to say Travis Kelce's not a good blocker, but it's
not his primary role.
It's not his primary role.
No.
But like Greg Olsen, like, yeah, maybe not the strongest guy, but one of the best tight ends at blocking in the NFL for a time. Owen Daniels, the same thing. TJ Hawkinson now was the first pick of the draft. Why? Because he's that dual threat guy. He can block in the run game and also be a receiver. Ever seen a TJ Hawkinson interview?
I know.
nothing really there.
Now, Kittle is more of he can block. He can get it done on that.
Yeah, Kittle can block, but that's kind of my point where I'm saying.
But he is still more of a fantasy point guy.
Exactly.
I get you. That's cool. Yeah.
So like, I wonder, if that can kind of coincide with each other, where it's like these guys that don't really, I guess you could call it that wide receiver mentality, that me mentality. Yeah. I feel like those guys that kind of bring more of the blue collar work ethic, and I'm going to put Gronk in that category too, because I just got done singing Gronk's praises earlier in the show, where I said, for all that he did with the Patriots, I don't think he was ever really that out of control. Yeah, he spiked it here and there, but he was never a distraction. It was never about me. I think there's a special type of just that blue-collar guy, that personality that benefits in the run game as well.
Very good call. Josh chimes in, by the way, regarding the tight ends in the NFL. When you look at the production at the position, there's a significant drop-off outside of the top three. So is it a question of talent at the position or philosophy in the league, or is it a little bit of both? I don't have numbers right in front of me, but we just named a lot of players that, to me, are very key players in the NFL. Kyle Rudolph, Zach Ertz, Gronk, who's now retired, of course. We mentioned Kittle. We mentioned Kelsey. And obviously their production is pretty high, too.
Yeah.
And so I think I get his point. Like, Waller had good numbers. I'll give you a guy. Tennessee's utilized Delaney Walker in a really big way. I don't know where his production. I mean, that was previous, not necessarily the last couple of years. Because one, he's been hurt, and I think two, he's getting old. I guess I don't disagree with him, right? I mean, you're probably looking at three guys from a production standpoint that are premier players at that position. Then there might be a little bit of a drop off, but no doubt the philosophy of the game, to his point, has gone to utilize that spot and utilize it in a specialty role. You don't have to be able to do both. If we're just going to line you up, we'll line you up. You don't have to get in that three-point stance. We'll line you up at a wide receiver position. Yeah. We'll create mismatches. So I guess, Josh, although I hate answering both to your question, I think the answer probably leans that way a bit. I think you're right about there is a premier nature to that position where Kelsey and Kittle and maybe throw another guy or two in there are different and are on another level. But no doubt, philosophy-wise, and we just saw a guy in DiFilippo around here that if he had that's the one thing about DiFilippo that to me will always feel incomplete. Didn't have a tight end to use.
Yeah.
What would it look like if he had a tight end to use? And he has made a living over the years putting tight ends in position to have huge years. So that comes from a philosophical approach more than it does maybe from a talent approach. If you can merge the two, then you're really doing well.
Well, and let's be honest, too. I think it's just they're hard to come by. A legit bona fide tight end that can run, that 4.6, that's a freak athlete that can also block. Those kind of guys are hard to find in the draft. They're hard to find in college because usually if they're that athletic, you're playing defensive line.
Yeah.
So they're hard to find. And then Jason Witten, another classic example of a guy who just went about his business, but a fantastic receiver and a pretty damn good blocker as well.
Well, it's the biggest transition position. You be a basketball player, you can be a wide receiver that's big, and then you transition to tight end. It feels like you can be a defensive end that's light, go to a tight end. You know what I mean?
Yep.
I mean, they've made quarterbacks into tight ends. It's a transition position. But it's a superstar position now in today's NFL.
Yep.
And the
it's
Jags need
best
it.
Friend.
The Jags need it here in Jacksonville. That's not alone, though. Do they need Yannick Ngakoue in Jacksonville? Yannick Ngakoue and how he relates potentially to Mookie Betts. Coming up next, Action Sports Jacks on ESPN 690.
ESPN 690 Sports Center Update.
For 2019-2020 World Champions, you gotta fight for your right to party! Believe it! I love y'all!
I'm Jake Mitchell. That was All-Pro tight end Travis Kelce at the parade celebrating the Kansas City Chiefs Super Bowl victory. And in Jacksonville football news, one of the biggest Jag fan groups has started a campaign against the Jaguars playing a second game in London. The Bold City Brigade has over 16,000 fan signatures at current, including over 671 who claim to be local businesses. Don't forget to stay connected with ESPN 690 while you're at work by listening on ESPN690.com. The best kept secret in tires is TireOutlet.com. Tire Outlet offers wholesale prices with premium service, and TireOutlet.com always has a safety-first focus. With locations throughout the First Coast, there's no need to go anywhere else for tires and service.
Diamonds Direct makes it easy for you to go over the top this Valentine's with an expanded selection of the most romantic gifts, special in-store designer trunk shows, and 3 years zero-interest financing on any Valentine's purchase. Jewelry is the #1 gift for Valentine's, and Diamonds Direct is the #1 destination. Diamond stud earrings, diamond eternity bands, layered necklaces, bangles, colored gemstones, and of course the largest selection of diamonds and engagement rings in America. As part of our Valentine's celebration this Friday and Saturday, we're hosting an exclusive designer event featuring world-renowned designer Simon G. See an expanded selection of Simon G creations, including some new items never seen before. And no matter what you choose for the one you love, you're guaranteed the best price. Plus, you can spread your payments over 3 years with zero interest on approved credit. Check out our online gift guide and even shop online if you like. DiamondsDirect.com. Diamonds Direct. Your love, our passion.
Off Town Center Parkway.
Tax problems can be extremely stressful and cause financial devastation. The tax attorneys at J. David Tax Law are right here in Jacksonville to be your personal advocate and resolve your IRS or state sales tax issues. J. David Tax Law focuses on your needs and case outcomes. Don't be fooled by these big out-of-town tax companies that only focus on getting you to sign up and pay without even working with an attorney. At J. David Tax Law, only highly experienced tax attorneys will represent you. Get the help you need with tax debt, payroll taxes, bank levies, wage garnishments, tax liens, and unfiled returns. If you have federal or state sales tax debt, have a sit-down with J. David Tax Law. Your first step is a no-cost consultation. Call J. David Tax Law at 904-507-4777, 904-507-4777. Peace of mind only a click or phone call away, 904-507-4777, or go to jdavidtaxlaw.com.
It's Beard's Diamonds Season of Romance.
And nothing says I love you like diamond jewelry.
Choose from the largest inventory in North Florida.
Diamond bracelets, diamond earrings, diamond necklaces.
We've brought in special designer merchandise just for Valentine's.
And as an extra bonus, when you say I love you with beautiful jewelry from Beard's Diamonds, your loved one receives a free dinner at Fogo de Chao with any purchase of $99 or more.
Nobody can beat that. But then again, nobody can beat Beard's prices or selection on the finest jewelry.
We're locally owned and professionally operated for 39 years. Never any pressure or commission.
Now's your chance to be a hero and make that special person feel great this Valentine's Day.
Find jewelry starting at $99, and your loved one receives a free dinner at Fogo de Chao.
Nobody can beat Beard's Diamonds.
Located at the St. John's Town Center or at beardsdiamonds.com.
Where exceptional is affordable.
Welcome to Jacksonville's Frisch Family Holocaust Memorial Gallery. It's a free educational resource with rotating exhibits. It's so important we remember. Jewish Family and Community Services. Here for remembrance. Here for Jax. Learn more at hereforjax.com.
There's a new sports medicine practice in Jacksonville.
Hi, my name is Stan Longenecker.
Hi, I'm Dr. Grimsley.
I'm Dr. Michael Adams. Ortho Edge.
We believe that the patient pays money for a doctor and should be seen by a doctor.
They're getting the most technologically available medicine there is.
Ortho Edge.
You're going to get a much better experience with your physician. We all see our patients every time.
Find out more about us at orthoedge.com.
We're in the DePaul building attached to St. Vincent's Medical Center, Riverside.
The Ospreys hoop it up on the road tonight. Hey, everybody, this is Brent Martineau, and this is your Swoop Minute. UNF on the road the next couple of games. At NJIT tonight, that game will be played in New Jersey, a team that beat the Ospreys a couple of weeks ago here in Jacksonville. UNF is tied for first place in the A-Sun with Liberty going into action on Thursday night. After tonight, the Ospreys play in Fort Myers against Florida Gulf Coast Saturday. They beat the Eagles earlier in the year. Meanwhile, the women's hoop team also plays on Saturday and also down in Fort Myers against Florida Gulf Coast. On campus this weekend, the UNF women's beach volleyball team will unveil their new volleyball complex. It's called the Cooper Beach Volleyball Complex, and the unveiling will be Saturday morning at 11 a.m. In men's tennis, Dominic Barton won a singles and doubles match against Georgia Southern. The 2 wins helped him pick up A-Sun Player of the Week honors. For news, schedules, results, and all things Ospreys, go to unfospreys.com. That's your Swoop Minute, and I'm Brent Martineau.
Family is big around here. We're family-owned, family-operated, family-managed. And that means legacy. That means dependability. That means using Grainger. With over 1.5 million products and knowledgeable product experts, Grainger has whatever we need. And with same-day pickup and next-day delivery options, they have it whenever we need it. For over 90 years, businesses like ours have trusted Grainger. Because, like family, Granger's got our back. Call, click Granger.com, or stop by to see for yourself. Granger, for the ones who get it done.
Alexa, how do I drive more customers into my business?
First, people will need to hear about you.
Okay.
Then you need to be online where they look for you.
Online, huh?
Then you need to be involved in the community. Then you need to...
Whoa. I don't have time for all that. I need to run my business. Alexa, can you help me find someone that can help me with online marketing?
Okay, searching for a local team that can help.
Local Solutions, your local marketing team putting you at the top of mind. Visit JacksonvilleLocalSolutions.com today and let us take your business to the next level so you can get back to running it. Local Solutions, powered by Cox Media Group. Marketing solved.
You're pregnant. How far? 1 month, 2. No doctor yet. I can't afford it. Protect yourself and your baby. The health department can help you out. Test for STDs. I don't have diseases. You don't know. You don't always have symptoms. STDs make you and your baby sick. I don't want my baby sick. No one cares more about your baby than you. I'm calling my county health department.
A message from the Florida Department of Health, the Florida Association of Broadcasters, and this radio station.
Do what we do and chub it up at Mr. Chubby's Wings. Hey, everyone, this is Brent Martineau. They're my favorite wings in town. People love them at our ESPN 690 party to celebrate a year. You can just celebrate good wings, good food, and a fun atmosphere at Mr. Chubby's Wings. So many flavors to choose from. But you know what my favorite is, the Maple Cajun. Go give it a try. Drink specials, a full menu, and lots of TVs to watch any sport. Chub it up at Mr. Chubby's Wings, 2 locations on the west side and in Fleming Island.
See, very intrigued by the Dan Le Batard Show on ESPN Radio.
You know where you win games, Dan? In the trenches on Sundays.
Appreciate all your thoughts on this matter.
The Dan Le Batard Show with the Stuttgarts on ESPN Radio and ESPN News.
Hi, I'm Chris Berman, and every time I come back to Jacksonville, I listen and watch Action Sports Jax.
He's done an outstanding job on the business side. Brett Veach helped build a world championship team. He was the driving force in acquiring some of the big-time leaders and playmakers on our roster. Guys like Anthony Hitchens, Damian Williams, Frank Clark, Tyrann Mathieu, and some kid from East Texas named Patrick Mahomes. Let's give it up for Brett.
That's Clark Hunt, owner of the Kansas City Chiefs. And you know what's really cool about the Chiefs and what they've done is Mahomes is getting all the love and has been for 2 years on the outside, and I'm sure in Kansas City. But internally in their organization, they pile right on it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they understand.
In a good way. You know, like, and it just does show you the magnitude of a position in that sport and the magnitude of that position in sports. Because, listen, Derek Jeter was a key part of winning World Series in New York. I just don't know they ever really put one guy when they were talking always on that pedestal. Now, in hindsight, you do, but in the moment, I don't know if it was always, man, Jeter. No, because it was Jeter and Paul O'Neill and Bernie Williams and Jorge Posada and, Andy Pettit and all those, you know what I mean?
Yep.
And listen, this was Travis Kelce and Tyreek Hill and all these other guys. But it's interesting in this sport to go wrap your arms around one guy. I'm not even sure the Patriots over the years in these kind of moments said and glorified Brady to be the guy that Kansas City is glorifying Mahomes to be right now. It's fascinating. I'm not saying it's right or wrong. I'm just acknowledging it and saying, wow, that's a unique in team sports.
Yeah.
We get it. Under subconsciously, we all know the reality is the quarterback position is the most important. But to come out and blatantly say it time and time again is an interesting thing that Kansas City has done, I think, these last few days, really the last couple of years, but especially the last few days.
Yeah, I mean, it's not a bad point, and I think there's arguments for both sides. One could say that it's good that you kind of embrace what's going on. You understand the landscape of everything, and Patrick Mahomes, he is the man. And on the other side, it kind of wonders, like, are you putting a little too much pressure? I mean, this is a team game after all. But I think it's cool that they actually realize what they have with Patrick Mahomes, and just how special that guy is. Because Any guy that's going to be the face of the NFL, well, let's be honest, is going to be good for your city, going to be good for your NFL team as well. So
absolutely.
Yeah.
All right, I got Mookie Betts and Yannick Ngakoue.
Yeah. Where are we going with this?
Okay, so Mookie Betts, Red Sox guy, tremendous talent, 27 years young.
Yeah.
Unbelievable numbers. Go look at it.
Can't believe he's going to the Dodgers.
The Red Sox, of all people, let him go.
I know.
The Red Sox can afford whatever they want to afford. This isn't a salary cap league.
Mm-hmm.
They can do whatever they want.
Mm-hmm.
They're trading him to the Dodgers. I don't even think it's finalized yet. I think they're waiting like a physical for some of the young players. But Mookie Betts is likely going to the Dodgers. Yannick Ngakoue, while not a total similar situation because of the ability to franchise tag for the Jags.
Mm-hmm.
But let's take the franchise tag out for a moment, and let's just talk about a guy being a free agent, whether it was last year or right now. What the Sox essentially said, I believe, with Mookie Betts, and they tried to offer him something last year, and he didn't take it.
Yeah.
And by the way, he didn't take it, and Boris didn't take it.
Correct.
Boris going to get that top dollar, man.
Yeah, for
no
sure.
doubt.
Yeah, there ain't going to be any hometown discounts for Mookie Betts.
There's no discount. They want to reset.
Hey, this is baseball. Let's get real, though, right?
But, I mean, I've heard, I think you read or whatever, I think you can read it's like in the mid $300 million range or something that Betts was offered, and I think he wants over the $400 million. And, again, we can, from a player perspective, say, well, is he worth it? Is he worth it? Well, we're going to find out if he's worth it because he's going to hit that open market, and maybe he's worth it.
Yep.
But essentially what the Sox said is, like, we just made one hell of an offer, in our opinion, but he wants to be a free agent. He doesn't, it doesn't matter how much we offer him. He wants to be a free agent. He doesn't necessarily want to not be here, but he wants to test it. He wants to see how high he can get. And the only way to see how high you can get is to be a free agent on the open market.
Yeah.
So you see where I'm going with Yannick Ngakoue. Is it a similar situation to a degree with Yannick Ngakoue? Now, depends what side you believe on, how much was offered, all those things. But do you sense at all that Yannick Ngakoue, one, because of his frustration now with the organization, wants to be that free agent? Not just because out of principle and what's gone down here and how this all developed, but he wants to see his worth.
Yeah.
Is there a similarity at all in, I've got these numbers, I'm under 25 years old, I'm not even close, I'm probably before my prime.
Yeah.
And if I hit the market, I'm going to get X amount of money. And I don't care what team that's with.
Yeah. So listen, not a bad comparison at all. Didn't know where you're going to go with it, but I can see your point here. I would say the major difference, though, between Mookie Betts and Yannick Ngakoue, and I'm not sure the relationship that Mookie Betts had with the Boston Red Sox. I assume it was fine. I never heard any reports saying he wasn't happy in Boston.
I don't think it was like that.
So I don't think it was like that at all. The difference between Mookie Betts and Yannick Ngakoue is one word, Brent, and it's pride. Okay? Mookie Betts wanted to be a free agent because it's the MLB. It's you can make these $400 million contracts and make all this money. Go test that out and see what it's all about. More power to you for doing that. With Yannick Ngakoue, yes, it is about money, but it's also about pride, okay? Where Yannick Ngakoue knows he's going to make money someplace. Whether it's in Jacksonville, whether it's in New York, wherever he's rumored to go, he's going to make money someplace. The difference is, though, that he wants to branch out, I feel like, because his pride is hurt, his loyalty is hurt, and when you have those type of things, you want to run away from home and see what else is out there.
Not done with that part of the story. More on Yannick Ngakoue as it compares potentially to the Red Sox getting rid of and trading away Mookie Betts, plus a voicemail that you want to hear, even though Austin might not want to hear.
No, he definitely doesn't want to.
That's next. Action Sports Jax on ESPN690.
Can't wait for this.
You earned it. We double it. This week, Family Kia of St. Augustine will double your tax refund. Now, your $500 tax refund is worth $1,000. Your $1,500 tax check doubles to $3,000 towards a brand new Family Kia. And our selection has never been better. Right now, you can own a new 2020 Kia Sorento LX from just $20,999. That's a brand new Kia for under $21,000. And Family Kia wants your trade-in. No matter what what you owe, we'll take it. No matter what it looks like, we want it. And we'll give you up to $5,000 over book value on the spot. So make the most of your hard-earned refund. You earned it. We double it. Take the short drive on I-95 and get double your tax refund this week at Family Kia on US 1 South in St. Augustine. FamilyKia.com.
Double discount applied in the form of dealer discount up to $3,000 total. Offers cannot be combined. Sorrento price excludes tax, tag, and fee. See dealer for details. Expires into this month.
Hey guys, Mike Golick here. Athletes are still athletes when they're off the field. That's why they still need to make good choices, like staying hydrated with Bolt 24, with antioxidant vitamins A and C, electrolyte from watermelon and sea salt, and no artificial sweeteners or flavors. Bolt 24 is all-day hydration for all-day athletes. It's available in delicious flavors like watermelon, strawberry, tropical mango, and mixed berry, and can be found in the sports drink aisle at most major retailers. Bolt 24, all-day hydration.
It's time for some straight talk. You know what a full court press is in basketball, right? Full defensive coverage with no holes. Well, that's the kind of coverage you get with Straight Talk Wireless. It runs on America's best 4G LTE networks, same as the big carriers, but just for a lot less. Just $45 a month gets you the unlimited plan with 25 gigs of high-speed data, then 2G, saving you up to half the cost of the big carriers. No contract. Full court coverage, half the cost. Straight Talk Wireless. Everything for less. Savings may vary. See terms and conditions at straighttalk.com.
Are your sales sluggish? Does your business feel flat? Give it a boost of natural energy with a sponsorship at the Jags Health and Fitness Expo on February 22nd at the Morocco Shrine. Put your business in front of thousands of health and fitness-conscious consumers looking for ways to enhance their health. Kick off 2020 with a bang at the Jags Health and Fitness Expo on February 22nd. Space is going fast, so book yours today at 245-8596 or visit BeHealthyJags.com. Call 245-8596, BeHealthyJags.com.
Hey, it's Mike Golick from Golick & Wingo. You're listening to ESPN 690.
ESPN Radio Sports Center.
I'm Doug Brown. Plenty of activity as the NBA trade deadline passed earlier today. ESPN's Adrian Wojnarowski reports the Clippers will get Marcus Morris and Isaiah Thomas in a 3-team deal with the Knicks and Wizards. The Clippers plan to waive Thomas. The Warriors will get Andrew Wiggins and a first-round pick in a trade with the Timberwolves. ESPN's Stephen A. Smith.
I know that Andrew Wiggins, at least earlier, was averaging about 24, 25 a game. My question is, how does he fit once Klay Thompson and Steph Curry comes back?
Stephen A. Smith on First Take. Minnesota will get D'Angelo Russell in that trade. The Heat pick up Andre Iguodala in a trade with the Grizzlies. Iguodala will sign a 2-year, $30 million contract extension with Miami. The Cavaliers will get the league's leading rebounder, Andre Drummond, in a trade with Cleveland. Baseball Commissioner Rob Manfred says he expects to finish his investigation into alleged sign stealing by the 2018 Red Sox before training camps open next week.
Just because she says she doesn't want anything for Valentine's Day doesn't mean she doesn't deserve anything. Send her farm fresh flowers from the Books Co. Go to Books.com/Kane and get 25% off with code KANE. That's BOUQS.com/Kane.
Broadcasting live from the ESPN 690 Anna Jar and Levine studios. Anna Jar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 904-600-4000. That's 904-600-4000. ESPN 690, Jacksonville's home for ESPN Radio. WOKV Jacksonville. Listen live everywhere you go on ESPN690.com. ESPN 690, a Cox Media Group station. Brent Martineau.
You see him every day on CBS 47, Fox 30, Action Sports Jags.
Austin Lane.
He's a former Jag star and current MMA fighter.
Broadcasting live from the Anna Jar and Levine studio. This is Action Sports Jags on ESPN 690 and ESPN690.com.
Excited to get to the 305 and excited to be in some great weather and excited to see my man Ray on the golf course.
That was Iguodala, headed to Miami, the 305. Is there a more popular zip code?
808.
Iola Scandinavia?
No. Excuse me?
What's 808?
808? Come on, Brent. Nothing. It's Hawaii, but Kanye West had a CD called Heartbreaks in 808.
That was the name of the album?
Yeah. I think, right? If I'm not mistaken.
And that's Hawaii? zip code? Area code?
Yeah. Hang on. Let me just make sure I didn't mess that up. Yeah, 808s and Heartbreak. I messed that up. Okay, it's 808s and Heartbreak coming out of Kanye West. I actually got in a huge argument one time in the Bears locker room with Trevor Scott, who was another defensive end. One of the biggest arguments ever. Didn't come to blows or anything, but I got in a huge argument about what's the best Kanye album, and he always thought that 808s and Heartbreak was, and I had to remind him time and time again that that's just not true.
Any other area codes? The 904.
I was going to say 904 is popular.
904 gets used a lot. Like, is that a local thing? Like, does everybody's local area code get used a lot? Because the 904 really does get used a lot.
215's back home. That one's a popular one.
It is?
Yeah.
Okay. Like, mine's like 401, and it was never that. Like, nobody said it in that language. Now, it was 20 years ago. So, context has changed, maybe.
Yeah.
But, I don't know. Like 305, everybody knows what 305 is.
Yeah.
I don't know if there's another one that everybody knows. Maybe your 808 is right, but I don't know if there's what's the LA area code? Like New York's.
I'm trying to think of rap songs.
I'm pretty
here.
sure New York's is 212.
LA is 310. I think
310. I think you're right.
310. Yeah,
you're right.
Yeah.
Is that from a song?
Yeah, that's from a couple of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so maybe LA's is.
Yeah. Well, let's go by music, dude. I mean, that's
but that's where it comes from.
Yeah, for sure.
Now, the sports teams, I think, have helped with the 305, right? The turnover chain is the 305.
Yep.
We saw when we were at the Super Bowl, there were a lot of things that had like almost the
Pitbull,
turnover chain look.
Yeah, and like if you're going to average how many times Pitbull says 305 in one of his songs, we're talking at least 20 times.
So is that part of it? Does he say it maybe more?
He's Mr. 305, Brent.
So he says it a lot.
Oh, yeah, he's Mr. 305.
Okay.
Worldwide, too.
Listen, I might be a white guy in my 40s, but I drive a truck, not a minivan.
What I just don't understand with him is he says he's worldwide, but then he's Mr. 305. How can you be worldwide, but your area code is Miami? I don't know.
Well,
that's like a culture that is worldwide. Maybe that's what
true.
he means.
Yeah. Because it's very diverse.
Or his music's
Did you
worldwide.
watch the Super Bowl halftime show? I mean, did you watch it?
By the way, now I'm going to save this to Bone and Fallen. We got to do Bone.
Okay.
I got the greatest interaction ever on Twitter, I thought. But nobody else. You can't give me another one. Like, what's Dallas's? Do we know? New Orleans. Chicago's. Anybody know Chicago's?
208. Let me look that
I
one
want
up.
to say something, but it would be so out of turn that I'm not going to say it.
What's up, man?
Not going to say it.
Okay, don't say it then.
I usually go ahead and say it right about now, but I'm not going to say it.
312. Why aren't you going to say it, man?
Isn't that interesting? A lot of threes, right?
Yeah.
L.A., Chicago, Miami are in the threes.
Yeah, I was way off with that one. Not bad.
Well, I guess to answer my question is really no. Miami's is the most popular.
Yeah, you're right.
No doubt about it.
Yes.
All right, back to a quick little Yannick thought.
Okay.
So we were talking Yannick Ngakoue, Mookie Betts.
Mm-hmm.
And Betts, if you're just jumping in, Betts is on his way to the Dodgers. Red Sox wanted to keep him. They love the guy. They love the player, no doubt. They offered him last year in mid $300 million range for
pocket change for Mookie Betts.
But he essentially, it didn't matter what you offered him. He wanted to test the market his way it sounds.
Yeah.
And he wanted to be a free agent. And he's got Boris as his agent. Reset that thing, 27, going into his prime. Unbelievable numbers. Fantastic player. Good bowler, by the way, too.
How do you know that?
He's bowls professionally.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
So see you later. A face of your franchise.
Mm-hmm.
See you later.
Former MVP.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And so to Yannick Ngakoue, who one of your faces of your franchise, maybe the face of your defense moving forward in the next however many years. It's not apples to apples because of the bad blood that now exists.
There's emotion tied to
There's
this.
a little bit more of that. And I don't know. Maybe the Mookie Betts one did get emotional. We just don't know. We're not as in tune to that. But the Jaguars say they made an offer, even though it probably wasn't as high as everybody anticipates or anybody had heard. Mm-hmm. At least that's what I understand. And then talks go off. And now he's a free agent. And yes, they probably will franchise tag him, tag him, all
by
those
the
things.
way, I changed my quote on my giant cutout. It said pay on for the longest time.
You did. I'm going to tweet that.
Yeah.
You say good luck with that.
Good luck with that.
I still disagree, man. He's going to play for 17. I think I saw the number was 17.5 million. Mm-hmm. It's I think we were saying like 18 change or 19.3. Mm-hmm. I think I saw the number now is 17.5.
Mm-hmm. Hey, Brent.
He's playing on it.
Hey, Brent. Good luck with that.
I know.
That's all I'm going to say.
That.
That's all I'm going to say.
But
good luck with that.
So some of it's animosity. Some
Correct.
of it's out of principle. But my point being is some of it just, hey, I think I'm one of the top 3 guys in the league, and I've got an opportunity to go find out. By the way, this is okay. I mean, players have the right to do this. But is that mentality at all there? Sure, there's a little angst with the organization. There's principle tied into it. There's a little bit like you're not treating me with the right respect. But even beyond that, is there, I don't get league-wide respect the way I should. Yeah. I don't get to a Pro Bowl even though I should have been a Pro Bowler. Mm-hmm. Nobody mentions my name when we bring up some of the best pass rushers and look at my numbers. Look what I've done. So is there a little bit of part of that with Yannick Ngakoue to say, well, I think I'm a top 3 guy. I'm going to go show you I'm a top 3 guy because I want to get out on that open market, that free market. And I'll tell you, forget about Frank Clark's $105 million. Mm-hmm. Forget about whoever else signed for whatever else.
DeMarcus Lawrence. Well, that's what it is, though, Brent.
I'm going to go, bam, get higher than that. Not just the Jags I'm going to show the rest of the league I'm going to get that.
Listen, but this is how sports works, right? Like if you're Mookie Betts and you got offered what you got offered from Boston, well, if you look around the league and you're a former MVP and you see what you got offered, it's like, well, this guy's making $400 million over here.
Yeah.
Look how much Bryce Harper made. You know what I'm saying?
And I've got better numbers than Bryce Harper.
Exactly. So these guys are making that much money. Why wouldn't you go test the free agency out and see what it's all about? And I think the same thing can be said for Yannick Ngakoue, where he wants to. Obviously, the tag's still involved there. But I talk about it all the time. When you compare him to Frank Clark and DeMarcus Lawrence, well, you hear what the Chiefs say about Frank Clark, right? You hear about what Travis Kelce said about Frank Clark. They loved him. You know, the entire team seemed to embrace Frank Clark. And let's be honest here, Frank Clark is not a clean-cut character, all right? He came with a little baggage when he got to Kansas City. But it seems like the team has embraced him. Well, go look at Frank Clark's numbers this year and then compare him to Yannick Ngakoue. So from that perspective, if you're Yannick Ngakoue, of course it's a peer-driven league. You're always going to have your eye on, well, what is he making? What is he making? What do his stats look like? What do his stats look like? I've said it before. If you compare DeMarcus Lawrence, Frank Clark, and Yannick Ngakoue from last year, 2 guys got paid over $100 million. Yannick Ngakoue still paying his rookie salary. Yannick Ngakoue had the better numbers in the regular season this year than Frank Clark or DeMarcus Lawrence. Enough said.
Yeah. Do you think the Jags are actively trying to get that communication, even though they have until March, whatever? And they have the power of, at least in their back pocket, of saying to put on that franchise tag. Now, you can say good luck with that, or if he doesn't. But
good luck with that.
Where do you think the Jags are on this, trying to get this to at least a part of communication and give us a chance here?
So,
and by the way, when you do that, you just say, "Hey, man, that was Tom. That was Tom."
Well,
whether that's right or wrong,
exactly.
But that's what you do.
That's
was
what you
Tom,
have to
Tom,
do.
Tom. And we wanted to get it done. In fact, if I was here, if I was Dave Caldwell, I'd be like, "Listen, if I was here, we would have got this thing done last Labor Day."
Sure.
Right? Remember when I said somebody was getting signed Labor Day?
Miles Jack.
I didn't know it was Miles Jack.
Hedge your bets. So is there communication going on? One would think that there is, because when the Jaguars, they had their the end of the season kind of presser a little bit, Dave Caldwell spoke. What did he say? He said that signing Yannick Ngakoue is the top priority. So I'm taking Dave at his word. I think when Dave says something, I think it holds value. So I do believe Dave in thinking that they are trying to sign Ngakoue. I also do believe that you can point the finger at Coughlin and kind of make him the scapegoat and says, "Hey, listen, man, we're behind you." Like if you go back to the press conferences of, Todd Wash, if you go back to the press conferences of Doug Marrone, I mean, they sing high praise of Yannick Ngakoue 24/7. So you know that they want him there. The question comes, though. Yes, you can try to point the finger at Tom Coughlin and say it was all his fault. But the question comes from Ngakoue's perspective is the relationship already fractured? Is it too late, right? And now you want to tack on another game in London. I don't know what he thinks about that. I really have no idea. But it just stems the question, is it too late?
Yeah. By the way, I will say this. There's a lot of angst right now about the London game. Mm-hmm. I've heard in the last couple months, couple weeks, they get a lot of phone calls about Yannick Ngakoue.
I believe it.
A lot.
I believe it.
And
why wouldn't they?
Well, here's the deal, man. I think because I don't know if that
pass
surprises
rusher.
me.
Yeah.
I know, but I just don't know. Fans are calling in being like, "Hey, man, are you guys going to sign Jan?"
Oh, I think you meant call some other teams.
No.
Trying to trade for him.
No. I'm sorry. Good. I'm glad you clarified that.
Yeah.
I'm just saying when people ask about the team or ask about this, or
okay.
even if we going to do a show, hey, when are you going to have Jan on? When's Jan coming on? I'm not saying that surprises me, but it certainly wouldn't surprise me if Minshew got that kind of attention, right?
Sure.
Or when Jalen Ramsey was here getting that kind of attention.
Mm-hmm.
Those questions were being asked. That's not a surprise. Jerseys being sold. My point being, yeah, we know Jan's a big part of this football team. We all get it in here. But I think over the landscape of Jacksonville, he is maybe even more popular of a player than even the average fan thinks or knows.
Sure.
Again, I'm not saying I'm surprised by that, but that is true. And it will be if for some reason he doesn't play here at all this year, if they don't tag him or they lose him. And we're all assuming they're going to tag him, but at the very least. But if he does not play here, it will just be another thing piled on to all this mess. And it will be ugly about that because there are people around here and a good amount of people around here that really like number 91 and know this organization should be keeping number 91.
So when you want to talk about Jaguars fans, at least the ones that I've interacted with my time here in Jacksonville, two things stick out to me. Number one, obviously, is the passion. And number two is, the smarts, okay? Like they're not people that don't get the game of football. They kind of understand for what it is. So when I bring the passion in it about Yannick Ngakoue was kind of the underdog story, right? Kind of an undersized defensive end coming out of college, gets taken in the third round, kind of an unheard of guy when he got to Jacksonville. People just kind of thought Dante Fowler was going to come in right away and, be the guy, be that first-round pick that he was selected to be. Fowler gets hurt and everything. Yannick Ngakoue steps up, and let's be honest, he never let go of the reins when Fowler got hurt. It was Yannick Ngakoue's side, then a defensive end. And I think people appreciated that because when Fowler went down, there was all this panic, like, how do you get hurt, in your first spring practice, blown out knee, like, oh, man, like this team is cursed. And Ngakoue was kind of the guy that put people at ease. And it was like, you know what? It's not the end of the world because, yeah, we lost Fowler for the season, but Ngakoue's playing pretty dang good, especially for a third-round pick. So from the passion standpoint of a Jaguars fan, he fits the mold. And then obviously from the X's and O's, from the smarts of a Jaguars fan, well, he's a defensive end, Brent. He's a premier pass rusher. And fans understand, I think at least for the most of them do, the fact that you just can't have one. All right, Josh Allen had a lot of success this year. That stemmed from also the teams being concerned about Yannick Ngakoue. And I think people realize if you lose Yannick Ngakoue, number one, you lose a premier pass rusher, but number two, you could stunt the growth of the other players on the defensive line.
Yeah, this town likes the underdog story, that blue-collar guy you're saying, and Yannick fits that, So we'll see. I mean, I just think we're going to talk. We talked a lot about Yannick Ngakoue last summer going into the season. It's not going to be any different in the next month. March 10th, I think, is an important date here. We're only about a month away from free agency. Mm-hmm. Interesting.
Never stops, Brent.
Yeah, that kind of is sneaking up a little bit quicker than I thought. All right, Kuz, you ready, baby? We got to play this voicemail. So here's the deal. I got this voicemail.
Okay.
And just listened to it this morning.
And I haven't heard this yet, mind you.
You haven't heard it. And I got it like yesterday. I believe when we were taking calls the other day, there was a caller that jumped in. And by the way, we respect all the callers. That's fine. I mean, they can have their opinion. It's okay. Whether we agree or not, that's part of what this is.
Yeah.
And this one caller thought, well, they missed on I believe this is the same person, that they missed on bringing in like a Tebow and even a Derrick Henry. Remember that reference?
Yeah.
And, he said his piece, and then we let him go, and we talked about it briefly and then went to break. Well, he obviously wasn't done and had more to say like this.
Yesterday you hung up on me before you could even catch the point. The point I was making was Shad Khan and Mark Lansing keep saying they need money. They need money, and they clearly don't care about winning or losing. So had they signed Tim Tebow, they would have instantly created a waiting list for season tickets. They would have instantly sold millions and millions of dollars worth of merchandise, and they would have gotten the money they wanted. But, of course, they would rather hire pathetic, no-talent losers like Austin Lane to play for their pathetic losing football team, while little weasels like you kiss their ass and refuse to hold them accountable for the garbage they put on the fans in this area. So why don't you and Austin Lane go right on back where you came from before you dismiss a man with the honor and integrity and talent like Tim Tebow?
Number one, hey, go back where I came from. Easy on that one a little bit. I'm not saying I'm taking it a little aggressively, but that could be misinterpreted.
Yeah, it could be. That's a little bit of you people.
Yeah, a little bit of you people, but not the good way.
But he kind of grouped me into it, too.
Yeah, so first of all, I
want to know, are you mentally tough enough to handle what was just said about you?
Hey, do you see? I mean, if you watch the video, you see my face right now? Listen, I honestly don't really care what that dude said. I'll be honest with you, and I hope he's listening. I really hope he does. From the perspective of when the hype was here to sign Tim Tebow, Shad Khan wasn't even the owner yet, okay? This was more of the Weaver transition to Shad Khan. And I distinctly remember getting a lot of respect for Dave Caldwell because he came out and said, not even if he's released, we're not going to sign Tim Tebow. Even if he's released. Thank you very much. And I'll be honest with you. Millions and millions and millions of dollars to watch Tim Tebow. Okay, so you're going to bring your son, you're going to bring the whole family, you're going to get in the car, you're going to tailgate, maybe go over some scriptures if you're into that kind of thing. Hey, more power to you, man. I'm all for religion if you're into it. You're going to go watch the game, you're going to go sit in your stands, and you're going to watch Tim Tebow maybe come in for 2 Wildcat plays, and then you're going to watch him go back out. And you're going to watch that over and over and over again. And you're going to generate millions and millions and millions of dollars because of that? That's going to sustain you through the dark ages of the Jacksonville Jaguars? Excuse me? Yeah, it's going to look good for maybe 1 or 2 games. But guess what, man? Tim Tebow wasn't playing, dude. Okay? I would have took Blaine Gabbert over Tim Tebow. And there I said it. And guess what? Other players in the locker room thought about Tim Tebow. They didn't want him there, okay? Because the guy was a distraction. So you may be concerned about gaining the revenue for the city.
Why are you making this phone call ripping into Tebow?
I'm ripping to everybody, man. Brent, you're up next. Just wait, man. I got something for you, too, if you want to get my way a little more.
The guy already ripped into me. I'm trying to handle this over here.
I'm just saying, man, I know a lot of guys in that locker room, too, offensive linemen, not going to name any names, they didn't want to block for Tim Tebow. They didn't want Tim Tebow in the locker room because of the distractions that he brought. And we all thought collectively, and I'm not saying every single player in the NFL, but at least the guys that I talked to thought that the talent didn't outweigh the distractions. So from your perspective, the Jaguars made a mistake by not getting Tim Tebow. Well, to be fair, sir, we'd be in the same boat right now, right? Because he wasn't going to last another 2 or 3 years. He was going to be out of the league because he didn't want to play fullback or tight end. He went to go play baseball. So what are you really talking about, sir?
Well, with that being said, he was talking about also, I think, the revenue part.
Is this Brent's uncle that called in or something?
I'm not defending.
Okay.
But hey, he was talking about the revenue portion, not the on-field stuff.
Yeah,
but to your point, it would have been short-lived.
Yeah.
Yeah, it would have been a short-lived thing. And the Jags tested the waters on that. We were just talking about this. You know, if you go all the way back, it was Shad Khan's like early on. Mm-hmm. And this was the whole Gene Smith and Mike Mularkey, regime.
Yeah.
And they said, listen, we're not going to guarantee he's going to come in here and play all those things. Tim had a choice, ended up picking the Jets. But the Jags didn't go over the top on that. And I think Shad Khan referenced some of those things for a reason to try it out.
Yeah.
But the football side said, no way, we're not doing it because we don't think it's going to benefit. Well, I'd always heard it added more pressure to that regime because they had basically told Shad Khan, no, we don't need that. Mm-hmm. We don't need that. Well, then they go 2-14, and you see what happens. But anyway, I thought you'd like that call. This wasn't really Tim Tebow related as much as a guy called saying that, well, you shouldn't have been on the roster either.
That's fine. I mean, I still got my 5 years in, dude. I'm sitting pretty right now. I mean, what do you want me to tell you, dude? It is what it is, man. Go check my PFF rankings real quick in the run game and see where I stack up, football fan.
Are they pretty good?
Hey, high five, football fan. High five. Go check them out, Brent.
Did they have PFF?
Oh, they had PFF. They always.
Or did they go back and watch you? Did you have to pay for them to do that? For this
I actually paid them to give me a high ranking. No, I don't know what my ranking is, honestly. I feel like it's pretty good. I don't know.
All right, we have Saqib on the line. Saqib, what's happening, man? Welcome in. Action Sports Jax on ESPN 690.
Hey,
how you doing?
Hey, Austin.
What up,
You're
dude?
not tough enough for this phone call, man. You're not tough enough. You can't handle this, bro.
I am pretty sensitive, dude, man. What can I say?
That was the funniest thing I've ever heard in my life that you guys have been on for over all this time. That was not the part where he said go back, that was stupid. But the other part was just funny, okay?
Yeah.
But let me guys say this. This whole two-game thing, okay, is absolutely horrible what Shad is doing. Shad and Dave Caldwell, they haven't won for us. They haven't made me as a fan since 1996, made me want to come to the Jaguars games. They haven't done anything for us. 6 games wins this year, 5 games before that. Yeah, you went to the AFC Championship game. And then you guys, we have been bad all these years since Shad's been the owner, 38-90. Come on, Shad. And then you're going to steal a game from us? And then you're going to think that Shad said, oh, it's going to be okay. The fans are going to like it. No, we're not. You're stealing a game away from us that we pay a lot of money to come see you, buy jerseys. Sakib, me, I have a lot of jerseys. I have Blake Boyle's jerseys. I have all kinds of – I have over 70 jerseys that I have of the Jacksonville Jaguars. I pay a lot of money for this team, okay? And Shad, I'm sorry, buddy. I appreciate what you're trying to do, but that's not good what you're doing. And I hope he changes his mind after 1 year.
Sakib, don't go anywhere just yet. 2 questions. Did Austin make the cut on your jersey list in your closet?
Actually, do you guys remember they were selling the jerseys a couple of years ago at the stadium, like 2 years ago?
Yeah, absolutely.
Remember all those old jerseys? I have Austin's jersy. I think I still have it in my closet.
That's not the way I wanted you to answer that question.
Let's go, Brent. Let's go, Brent. Let's go, Brent.
Now a more serious question.
That was a serious question.
Sakib, I understand, and you are aligned with a lot of fans in terms of that second home game. How about from the approach standpoint? If Tuesday – Shad Khan, Mark Lamping, anybody else who was talking at the time had come out and said, listen, we understand the sensitivity of this. We know it's not the best thing for in the eyes of our loyal fans. But we do believe, if you trust us on this, we believe this is the best interest of this franchise long-term in Jacksonville. Kind of explained it in that nature as well. Again, I'm not sitting here saying a standing ovation would have been in order, but would there be a different reaction, at least inclusion of the fans and feeling like, okay, this is part of a bigger plan, maybe not a permanent plan type of thing?
Yes, but you know what I have a problem? Yes, that would be great too. But you know what I have a problem with it? Both of you, actually for Austin, because he's been in the NFL, okay? Why would the team want to sign? Why would the guys want to sign for the Jacksonville Jaguars where they got to pay all these taxes in London? Where, I'm sure Austin can talk about that more because he's paid taxes in other cities and states where he played. Why would you, Austin, want to come play for the Jacksonville Jaguars if you got to pay taxes, 30% in London or something like that? I don't even know, but I'm sure it's a lot of taxes they got to pay in that country. Why would you want to sign for the Jacksonville Jaguars if they're gonna steal money from you for 2 weeks in a row over there? You wouldn't want to play for the Jacksonville Jaguars. You'll go play somewhere else, right?
Well, and listen, this is something that I was very adamant about yesterday because essentially what I did yesterday was I put myself in the player's shoes right now in that locker room. And one of the things that I brought up was the fact that would a player before going to London for a second game and then having to pay, I think it's like 17 to 20% depending on the pay scale, percent tax of what you're making? And obviously the answer is no, especially now with these players being so self-aware where they are concerned about their money. No one in their right mind would want to go play an extra game in London and have to forfeit that tax. So it brought me to the point of, if you're a player for the Jacksonville Jaguars, do you go to the NFLPA? Do you go to somebody and say, listen, we didn't sign up for this, man. We didn't have a vote on this. When I came to Jacksonville, or when I got drafted to Jacksonville, I was never told I had to play 2 games in London and pay 17 to 20% of my paycheck for that game.
I think advisors would say that too, Austin. I just think if I'm signing a big mega deal or a deal of any kind with the Jaguars, I'm not really thinking about my taxes at the time. I don't know how many people do. I'm just being, listen, when I sign a contract here, I don't really think of, does that put me in a 22% tax bracket or a 21%? I think
agents are thinking that, man.
Maybe, and again, hopefully their advisory committee, their agents, all those will be. But I'm just saying, I don't think the player thinks about that. I just don't. The player thinks about now, man. They're 24 years old, 25 years old. Not across the board.
Yeah.
But I think most of them think about right now. Hey, we have James on the line as well. Let's get James in before we got to take a break. Action Sports Jax on ESPN690. What's up, man?
What's going on, man? Austin, I did hear the comment, and I'm like, why is this guy throwing Austin under the bus. He didn't have anything to do with it. But to hit your point, Austin, the Jaguars started this fiasco before they, when they got here. Let's see, you move up to get Blaine Gabbert, which is probably another horrible pick. Yeah. You move up, you get, you get a defensive end that's no good. You miss on players. You draft running backs who could have drafted, again, Pat Mahomes or Deshaun Watson. There's been issues that this franchise and this GM have made that make people scratch their head. I mean, seriously. Leonard's a good running back, but he's not a quarterback. I always equate it to Baselli getting in the Hall of Fame. Who would you take as the first pick? Would you take a left guard, or are you going to take a left tackle? Well, you take a quarterback over a running back. This second game in London, for 17 years I've been going to that stadium. And for 15 of those, I've sat in premium seats with two, my son and I. And I feel that I got a financial investment in this. And it's not suites or terrace or anything, but I'm spending a lot of my money that I could do other things with to go down there. And I go to every game. I'm hearing Baselli say, well, if you only go to 6 games, it doesn't affect you. Well, I go to every game, including the preseason one. So Shad should just come out and be honest and open. Said, you know what, guys, it's about the money. It's all about the money. I've got $8.1 billion, and I want to add on to that. The team's worth $2 billion. I mean, twice as much as I paid for it. And London is a cash grab. I don't want to win because my record says so. You are what your record is, right, guys? I mean, Austin, if you win 10 games, you're a 10-game winner. If you lose 10 games, you're a 10-game loser.
You're absolutely right. So it was James, correct? All right, cool. So, James, thanks for the call. We really appreciate it. To get to kind of your points real quick, you talked about the draft a little bit. And, yes, to be fair, the draft hasn't been, 100% hit every single time. But I think every NFL team has hits or misses. Now, the quarterback position in the draft, especially or in free agency, will always be tied to the GM, right? Your direct outcome of a GM, if you get fired or if you get held on, is the fact that how good did your quarterback do? We're seeing it right now with Ryan Pace and Mitch Trubisky. Everyone's kind of calling for Ryan Pace's head because he sacrificed so much to get Mitch Trubisky, and let's be fair, he hasn't lived up to the standard. One could be said, obviously, for Dave Caldwell as well with Blake Bortles, but Dave Caldwell still has a job. So I get what you're saying there. If you look at the history of the Jacksonville Jaguars, yes, there has been hits and misses. My big point, though, and what I have an issue with is the standpoint of when you do hit on guys in the first, second, or third round, you don't tend to keep them. You lose them, whether it's with players wanting to get released, players getting traded, or else players you're not willing to sign back. I think Allen Robinson's a perfect example. Now, I get it. You offered Allen Robinson, you wanted more money, you wanted to go to Chicago. It is what it is. But that's more of a culture problem, right? You have the culture in line where Allen Robinson wants to stay, and now you're winning, and now you're succeeding. You have the culture in line to keep Jalen Ramsey. Now you got something. You have the culture in line to keep Yannick Ngakoue and not wanting him to go to free agency and maybe test his prowess somewhere else. Now you're winning. So I do have an issue with the draft in terms of you can't keep the guys that you drafted, especially in the first 3 rounds. And then, as far as the London point's concerned, I've kind of spoke to it ad nauseum a little bit. I think it is a disadvantage, obviously, for the players and obviously the fans, too. It can hurt the pocketbook, especially guys that want to go to the away games.
Well, I think the one interesting thought is, and James obviously thinks it's a cash grab.
Yeah.
I think the debate, if there is one, again, this doesn't make it you're supposed to feel good about it or it's the right move to bring a second game. But a lot of people right now think it's a cash grab for an $8 billion guy.
Yeah.
I'm not as convinced of that. And I don't know if anybody, if you would say, is it a sustainability thing or a cash grab?
Yeah.
I think right now with the emotions in town, everybody would be like, it's cash grab, cash grab, cash grab.
Yeah.
I don't necessarily think that's the case.
Yeah.
Because I've told you before, I don't think they're moving it anywhere.
Yeah.
And honestly, yes, businessmen are out to make more money.
Sure.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But we're not talking about $1 billion more playing in London. We're talking about 10 million, 15 million probably somewhere along the way.
Yeah.
I have a harder time thinking it is just cash grab.
Yeah.
But I respect people's opinions. That's what they think. And I understand that's what a lot of them think right now.
I hear you.
Either way, to me, it still doesn't justify right now to a fan losing the second home game. We have to
take a break.
We'll come back and talk about it.
All right. I was going to adjust the call. I'll just cut a little quick promo.
We'll play it when we come back in because I want to hear it again, quite frankly. Action Sports Jags on ESPN 690.
Action Sports Jax with Brent Martineau on ESPN 690 is brought to you by Best Bet Jacksonville and Orange Park.
Now, the First Alert forecast on ESPN 690.
Showers and a few strong storms later this evening and overnight as temperatures drop into the 50s. It'll be much cooler Friday, but become mostly sunny. Highs only around 60 degrees. From the First Alert Weather Center, I'm Action News Jax Chief Meteorologist Mike Burrish.
The Weather Center is brought to you by Beards Diamonds, where for a limited time,
0% financing store-wide.
Find out more at beardsdiamonds.com. ESPN 690 Sports Center Update.
For 2019-2020 World Champions, you gotta fight for your right to party! Believe it! I love y'all!
I'm Jake Mitchell. That was All-Pro tight end Travis Kelce at the parade celebrating the Kansas City Chiefs Super Bowl victory. And in Jacksonville football news, one of the biggest Jag fan groups has started a campaign against the Jaguars playing a second game in London. The Bold City Brigade has over 16,000 fan signatures at current, including over 671 who claim to be local businesses. Don't forget to stay connected with ESPN 690 while you're at work by listening on ESPN690.com. The best kept secret in tires is TireOutlet.com. Tire Outlet offers wholesale prices with premium service, and TireOutlet.com always has a safety-first focus. With locations throughout the First Coast, there's no need to go anywhere else for tires and service.
Hey everybody, this is Brent Martineau. My family and I invested in a Connecticut system from CGC Water a while ago, and we're so glad we did. The team at CGC Water makes it so easy to get the best quality water running through my entire home and the best tasting drinking water right at my sink. And it even makes the coffee taste better. Do yourselves a favor and start the new year off right. Financing options available with approved credit. Call 904-694-2424. Tell them Brent sent you or visit cgcwater.com, your local authorized independent Connecticut dealer. Let Bold City Heating and Air help you beat the change in weather we just experienced. Hey everybody, this is Brent Martineau. The recent cold snap probably had you turning on your heat at home. A few days later, you needed your AC again. In Jacksonville, you want to make sure both are working and efficient. Bold City Heating and Air will help you do that. They helped my family last summer. Friendly service, competitive pricing, and an experience you'll probably tell your friends about. Give Bold City Heating and Air a call at 904-379-1648 or visit boldcityac.com. Kick off the new year at Renna's Pizza. Want a fresh one? Renna's has fresh ingredients, fresh food throughout the menu, and the pizza is so fresh and so good. Hey everyone, this is Brent Martineau. We love bringing the show to Renna's Pizza. We know we'll eat well, and we were at the Neptune Beach location recently. Perfect setting to hang out, eat, drink, and watch the games on TV. Renna's has you covered with 5 locations in Northeast Florida, Marsh Landing, Bay Meadows, Argyle Forest, San Jose, and the newest location in Neptune Beach. Kick off the new year at Renna's Pizza.
Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Austin Lane from Action Sports Jax. Thanks for making ESPN 690 the fastest-growing sports station in Jacksonville. It was a lot of fun playing for the Jacksonville Jaguars for 3 years, and I'm having just the same amount of fun on the radio every single day with ESPN 690. So I'm reaching out to you to be part of our team and grow your business with ESPN 690. Give us a holler at 245-8732. That's 245-8732. We look forward to hearing from you and hope you join the team.
Hey, boss, have you heard? More dirt about the Ding Dong Doorbell Company.
Uh-oh, what is it now?
Get this. Some software engineer for the parent company has called for the immediate and permanent shutdown of the company because of privacy issues.
Whoa, this is huge.
Yeah, you just can't keep track of all the hacking stories. Oh, and they just fired employees for spying on customers.
You realize this is bad news for us crooks, right?
What do you mean, boss?
Think about it. When these Ding Dong Doorbell customers finally get fed up, they could end up going to SafeTouch.
Oh, no.
Yeah. Once folks compare the cheap, unreliable, and vulnerable DIY system to a SafeTouch system,
then we've lost them forever. Boss, we gotta hope this Ding Dong Doorbell Company stops messing up.
Exactly. Because we gotta stick to the Crooks Are Us motto. Stay away from SafeTouch houses.
Crooks know to stay away from SafeTouch houses. Hi, I'm Lester Jackson, president of SafeTouch Security Systems. No one beats our technology or our price.
Call SafeTouch today at 888-723-8682 or go to safetouch.com. State license number EF233.
Jacksonville Truck Center is here to help you get in the truck you deserve. When you need a fleet vehicle, Jacksonville Truck Center has the largest selection of pre-owned commercial vehicles, including cargo vans and work trucks. We're here to make it easy for you. There's commercial or personal financing available, even if you have bad credit. Don't spend your tax return money anywhere else. Visit the new Jacksonville Truck Center on Arlington Expressway next to the Southside Connector or online at jacksonvilletruckcenter.com.
Have you ever considered helping an aspiring small business owner through one-on-one mentoring? If so, you may be the right person to become a SCORE volunteer. Since 1964, SCORE has helped more than 11 million entrepreneurs and small business owners. In Jacksonville, SCORE provides services to almost 6,000 individuals annually through mentoring at 7 area locations and hosts 140 workshops. Apply today by clicking on the volunteer tab at jacksonville.score.org.
Diamonds Direct makes it easy for you to go over the top this Valentine's with an expanded selection of the most romantic gifts, special in-store designer trunk shows, and 3 years zero-interest financing on any Valentine's purchase. Jewelry is the #1 gift for Valentine's, and Diamonds Direct is the #1 destination. Diamond stud earrings, diamond eternity bands, layered necklaces, bangles, colored gemstones, and of course the largest selection of diamonds and engagement rings in America. As part of our Valentine's celebration this Friday and Saturday, we're hosting an exclusive designer event featuring world-renowned designer Simon G. See an expanded selection of Simon G creations, including some new items never seen before. And no matter what you choose for the one you love, you're guaranteed the best price. Plus, you can spread your payments over 3 years with zero interest on approved credit. Check out our online gift guide and even shop online if you like. DiamondsDirect.com. Diamonds Direct. Your love, our passion.
Off Town Center Parkway.
The Ospreys hoop it up on the road tonight. Hey, everybody, this is Brent Martineau, and this is your Swoop Minute. UNF on the road the next couple of games. At NJIT tonight, that game will be played in New Jersey, a team that beat the Ospreys a couple of weeks ago here in Jacksonville. UNF is tied for first place in the A-Sun with Liberty going into action on Thursday night. After tonight, the Ospreys play in Fort Myers against Florida Gulf Coast Saturday. They beat the Eagles earlier in the year. Meanwhile, the women's hoop team also plays on Saturday and also down in Fort Myers against Florida Gulf Coast. On campus this weekend, the UNF women's beach volleyball team will unveil their new volleyball complex. It's called the Cooper Beach Volleyball Complex, and the unveiling will be Saturday morning at 11 a.m. In men's tennis, Dominic Barton won a singles and doubles match against Georgia Southern. The 2 wins helped him pick up A-Sun Player of the Week honors. For news, schedules, results, and all things Ospreys, go to UNFOspreys.com. That's your Swoop Minute, and I'm Brent Martineau.
Join ESPN 690 along with 20,000 other runners and walkers at the Gate River Run on March 7th. Whether you want to run or just want to join the huge party at the finish line, go to runjax.com. That's runjax.com to register for the 15K or the Synovus 5K for charity.
Brent Martineau.
You see him every day on CBS 47, Fox 30, Action Sports Jax.
Austin Lane.
He's a former Jag star and current MMA fighter.
Broadcasting live from the Anna Jar and Levine studio.
This is Action Sports Jax on ESPN 690 and ESPN690.com.
Course, they would rather hire pathetic, no-talent losers like Austin Lane to play for their pathetic losing football team, while little weasels like you kiss their ass and refuse to hold them accountable for the garbage they put on the fans in this area. So why don't you and Austin Lane go right on back where you came from before you dismiss a man with the honor and integrity and talent like Tim Tebow?
Kuz, what was that guy's name?
I actually don't know.
Yeah, we don't even know.
All right, well,
he didn't leave his name.
You know
All
what?
I know is I want to put a weasel face mask over Brent on the stream now.
All right. So calmer heads will always prevail. I got a little emotional the first time I heard it. I'm going to be a little calmer the second time.
You should.
Because guess what? I'm still upset, okay? I still took a little bit to heart. I don't
Mentally weak.
I don't like being called a loser, Brent, and you shouldn't either, man. I don't have a loser's mentality, right? If someone calls me out, I'm going to call them back out. So here we go. Allow me, because I don't know if you actually watch this, sir, or if you listen to us on the radio, but I'm going to put up my feet on the desk and be the most disrespectful person I can be right now and the most laid-back, chill individual possible, because I want you to know how much, I don't care what you have to say. So now, first of all, I didn't cut you off when you called in, okay? I'm not the producer. I don't control the soundboards. That's Kuz's job. I don't think Kuz really cut you off, man. You said your piece about Tim Tebow. We have a show to run. We can't have callers take over the show. So you said your piece, and that was it. I thought Kuz did a good job there. So sorry if you got offended because you couldn't get your 2 cents in, but you dropped the penny, and we heard that. And guess what? Didn't like what I heard. Second of all, I may not have done anything in the league to you, and that's fine. But I lasted 5 years. I got my pension, and my 401k right now is looking extra juicy. So enjoy that and go ahead and marinate in that a little bit. Third of all, I'm not going to go back to where I came from because I love Jacksonville. Jacksonville is my home now, and I've, planted my oats here or my seeds here, and I like it in Jacksonville. I love the people in Jacksonville for the most part. Not sure if you're from Jacksonville, sir, or not. I'm probably not going to take you out to Ruth Chris anytime soon, but it is what it is. And fourth of all, you called in to our show, a show that I co-host. So technically, it's some of my show as well. So you called in to me because you're listening to me to voice your displeasure. So keep this in mind. You have the power to start your own podcast, to start your own radio show if you want to. And what I want you to do is I want you to post the number when you do, and it's going to be the Tim Tebow Hour about how Jacksonville messed up by not getting Tim Tebow. Have that content every single day on your podcast or on your Twitch account or on your YouTube account, and make sure you post the number. So when I see that number, I do not call, because at the end of the day, my feet are up right now. I am so casual on my show in part of my studio that I could care less what you think about Tim Tebow going to the Jacksonville Jaguars. And that's it, man.
I like some of the comments we're getting. George says, that's not just a guy, that's Austin effing Lane.
Oh, hey, check it. Kuz, can you see my feet on the thing right now or not?
Also,
hardly,
Ginger,
but yeah.
Ginger said, not sure what we're supposed to be watching. All I see is a guy playing on his phone.
That was the response. The Austin Lane was the response to that.
Yeah.
Are you okay?
I'm good, dude. Hey, are you okay right now?
No, I can hardly
Did you
catch
go to
a
say
breath.
your piece? That guy called you a loser too, man?
I actually enjoyed every second of it.
What do you got?
No, he wasn't a loser. He was a weasel.
I'm a weasel.
Weasel. Yeah, and you kiss all the players' asses.
I do.
Yeah.
Yes.
Which, by the way, if you go to locker rooms sometime and see how those players look at Brent Martineau, there's not a lot of that going on. I can promise you that. That's all I'm going to say.
There wasn't.
Yeah.
Anyway, we appreciate all the comments, even the not so nice ones.
Yeah. It's all good, man.
Hey, I got to do, we haven't done Ballin' and Fallin' in forever.
Man, who you telling?
We haven't done Happy Hour Horn in forever. Kuz, you got the Happy Hour Horn? You got a second, Kuz. I'll get you ready. I just want to do it.
Can you not call me mentally weak on Twitter, please?
Well, you're sorry.
Hey, you want to talk about an enabler? You want to talk about my own co-host trying to call me out right now?
Well, I mean, he went on a big rant. He was totally offended by this.
I'm not offended.
I'm just taking it in stride and having a drink.
Dude, I'm just the type of person where if you say something to me, guess what? I'll say something back, man. We can go back and forth. It's called sparring. It's all good, Brent.
All of a sudden, I love, like, if Tim Tebow is listening, which he probably isn't, he's like, all of a sudden, hey, Austin, what do you mean you're coming after me now? That guy brought it up.
But maybe it was Tim Tebow in disguise. Who was on the line?
South Beach Gary. He's here to say nice things about you because we had to answer on the other side. We're concerned about your well, from a mental standpoint.
Dude,
here.
My feet are on the desk right now. I'm feeling good.
South Beach Gary, what's up?
Yeah, Austin Brent, don't let fools ruin your day. He's not worth it. If you made 5 years in the NFL, you have my undying respect, Austin. I don't care if you were the 53rd man.
I appreciate that, South Beach
You
Gary.
made 5 years, and that's a hell of a lot more than 99.9% players that played in college.
I appreciate that, Gary. And so, Brent, you're still a weasel. There we
that's
go.
Right, and I'm still a weasel. Yeah, nothing to substantiate that. Thanks, South Beach Gary. Appreciate it. I feel like we're going to bring in like a sports psychiatrist tomorrow on the show to get us through the rest of this. Happy Hour Horn time? How about we do that instead?
Lord knows we need one. Grab a drink, get a shot, tip your star tenders.
Very well done. All right, how about a little Ballin' and Fallin'? We're doing it all.
We didn't rehearse that at all, by the way.
That was good, though. Very well done.
Look for the bed music. I don't know what bed music is, Coos. So next time, let's talk about that like in an email before we come on the show, and you don't put me on the spot, dude. Sound good?
I love when we teach Radio 101. To Austin on the fly.
I've only been doing it for a year, right?
Well, I know. That's something you got to learn a little bit more year by year.
Okay. You want to do Ballin' first? Do you want to?
No, go ahead. You do it.
Okay. You put me on the spot. It's all good.
But
you have
time? I can do it if you want to.
And listen, man, Shout out to Action News Jax and Action Sports Jax, because this article actually popped up in my newsfeed on Facebook a couple days ago, and it's actually relating to one of my homies that I've trained with before, and that is Anna Bradshaw, who was the first woman in Jacksonville in, I think, the districts to actually win first place in a wrestling tournament. Yeah. So she beat all the boys, by the way, which is badass in itself. But yes, I've actually rolled jiu-jitsu with her a couple times. She's legit, obviously. Really cool person. I think she's a junior now, going into her senior year next year, but a fantastic wrestler.
Cool. I didn't know that.
And I was happy to see her, try to get some spotlight, what she deserves, because she puts the work in and everything like that. So shout out to Anna Bradshaw, man. And by the way, apologies to if your son got beat by her. I don't know what I would tell my son if he got beat by a girl in wrestling. I mean, hey, I get it happens, but I'm sure my wife would be like, this is a good teaching lesson for you, Ronan. Like, you got beat by a girl, because girls can do anything. And I would probably be from the standpoint of, we have to change schools right now. We have to get out of this state and we need to go someplace else, because this is going to follow us wherever we go. But props to Anna Bradshaw. That's the real story right there.
I'm glad you brought that up, though, because it does. We were talking about this in the sports office when we saw that story.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, how do you feel about that? Like, how do you feel? Not about, see, I think you have respect for opponents in any sport. I think if there's a female golfer and she's better than, I mean, she's better than me or whatever, right?
Yeah.
I mean, we all went to school with boys or girls that were smarter than us, and that didn't seem to bother anybody.
Yep.
I think it's more like that sport in particular, because there is so much grappling. And
it's strength. I mean, let's be honest, it's strength.
Well, yeah, but I mean, the reality is it difficult to be in the boys' spot wrestling against girls? And it's not a new thing.
Yeah.
See, I covered wrestling a bunch in Albany, New York. We covered a lot of high school. I mean, we're talking now 15 years ago. And it was, I don't want to go as far to say prevalent, but it wasn't like an isolated once every 3 years there would be a female wrestler. And we covered a lot of female wrestlers, and some of them very good.
Yeah.
So, to me, it doesn't even register that way to me, because I saw it 15, 20 years ago. This isn't like a new thing.
Yeah.
It might be new in Florida a little bit, or this might be a different moment. But females wrestling in high school wrestling is not a new thing.
It's not.
And so, like, to me, I think in that sport, in that arena, I think they're kind of used to it. They've seen it. It's not like, oh my gosh, the first time I've ever seen anything like this.
For sure.
Yeah. So I think that kind of takes away a lot of whatever you might feel, although it's still probably a question, even from the parent side of a female wrestler and maybe the parent side of a male wrestler in that sport.
Well, and listen, I mean, you talk about, wrestling at any level, whether you're in middle school, high school, collegiate, or, in the Olympics. I mean, it is the ultimate grind sport, right? And if you have if you have a daughter who does wrestle, I mean, she's going toe to toe with those guys in that practice room every single day, and they're usually probably going to be guys that are bigger than her. So from the girls' perspective, I mean, she's ready for that, right? Like, she experiences every single day in practice, and I guarantee they don't take it easy on her. From the other perspective, if you're the male, if you're the boy that's wrestling a girl, yeah, I would probably say 50-50, where some guys would probably try to take it easier a little bit because they would feel bad, and the other side would be like, no, man, like, this is my opponent. I don't care who it is. And I would probably lean more towards, this is my opponent. I don't care who it is, because I made the mistake actually doing jiu-jitsu when I very first started out doing jiu-jitsu, Brent. And I was a white belt at the time. I went against like a purple belt. She's like a 3-stripe purple belt. So she's pretty legit. And we didn't start standing up because I was a lot bigger than her, obviously. So we started like, we call it side control. So she was on top in the side control position. Literally choked me out with like her hand, like her cuff and her gi, they call it, her cuff, choked me out in about 30 seconds. And I go, well, okay, well, now I can't, everything that I've thought about jiu-jitsu and women and strength, out the window. Yeah. I'm like, okay, well, now you're getting the full effect now, okay? Yeah. And I apologize to you in advance, but I'm not getting choked out again, okay? So I think you have to have that respect for sure, and think of it as your opponent, not if it's male or female.
Yeah, and I think there's more of that thinking. I really do. Yeah. And again, maybe it just depends on your background, how often you've seen it, how rare it is. And I understand everybody's opinion can be different on that topic. All right, we got to get it moving here. Balling and falling. Hey, Kuz, balling real quick. Give me a high. I want you to jump in because NBA trade deadline, and I know you're doing some stuff over there. But Driving Dish podcast going to be a killer one this week. Give me the biggest trades of the day in the NBA. What are people talking about right now?
Oh, man, people are definitely talking about Iggy going to Miami. That was a big one because of the players on Memphis taking shots at Iggy before he was traded. Sadly, the Heat do not play the Grizzlies at all the rest of the year, so we're not going to get to follow that matchup. Andre Drummond going to the Cavs is a big one. Andrew Wiggins going to Golden State is a big one. That there's a whole bunch of other moving parts in that one. And then the Clippers were involved actually just recently. That's what I was reading about here. But they were involved in a deal that's going to, I believe, send Marcus or Markieff Morris to their team.
Anybody changed the dynamic of the team? Like Miami's having a great year, I think exceeding expectation. Does that put them in a new stratosphere, getting Iguodala, do you think?
I think I guess it depends on how impactful you think Iggy can be, and that will be a debate that people would be on both sides on. But I think it will be. I think it will be. I also think and I know Austin, you're not going to like this. I think the players that the Sixers picked up, they picked up shooters, which is exactly what the team needed. So hopefully that can give them a spark and kind of take them out of this like sort of slump they're in at the moment.
Bucks Sixers tonight, Brent.
Ooh.
Bring your popcorn,
Bucks, Giannis.
I like it.
76ers have been highly disappointing. They don't have TJ McConnell anymore.
Didn't the Sixers beat him last time, though?
On Christmas, yeah. It's NBA. You're going to win some, you're going to lose some.
I got to get to this fallen. The Super Bowl halftime show may keep a Christian man out of heaven, and that man is now preparing to sue the National Football League for damages. $867 trillion he's going to sue the NFL for. This guy is a host of the Pass the Salt Live webcast. And he says, I think we ought to sue. Would that halftime show, would that have been rated PG? Were there any warnings that your 12-year-old son, whose hormones are just starting to operate, was there any warning that what he was going to see might cause him to get excited?
Nice.
$876 trillion.
Hey,
so,
sir.
Because he claims it will keep him from heaven. Well, Christian Brewy, our buddy from Orlando at our sister station on the TV side, says, and quote tweets the best tweet that he'll ever have. I would describe the halftime show as 15 minutes of heaven.
Well, and let's be fair, sir. Did you watch Maroon 5 last year with Adam Levine with those tight pants and his shirt off? Well, I mean, what are we talking about here, sir? You're not getting to heaven watching that either.
No.
What are we talking about here?
Any falling for you? Or just the call?
Yeah. Well, real quick, Amon Green, former Green Bay Packer great running back, has signed on, and this is not a joke. This came out from the Lakeland Muskies themselves. Lakeland University has an esports team. Former Green Bay Packer great Amon Green has decided to coach the Lakeland Muskie esports team.
How about that? What are you doing now? Amon Green is an esports head coach.
He was quoted as saying, it's going to be an awesome idea. I have plans to grow the program and help Lakeland students grow as well.
There we go.
Okay,
Amon
man.
Green. What are you doing now?
Have you been to Lakeland, dude?
All right, that's going to do it. Thanks for listening, everybody. We'll do it again tomorrow. Action Sports Jax on TV tonight, CBS 47 and Fox 30. Back at it tomorrow here at 3 o'clock on ESPN 690.
See, very intrigued by the Dan Le Batard Show on ESPN Radio. Put it on the poll, Guillermo. Is Stugatz very good at his job of not being